The Wrestling Hypothesis podcast is brought to you today by Anchor. Anchor is a free way for you or anybody to record, produce, edit, and even distribute your podcast, so you can have it be heard by many major podcast platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and many more. There's creation tools in there that allow you to record or edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, making a very convenient option for most. It allows you to make money from your podcast directly with no minimum listenership required. I'm currently using the Anchor service as a way for me to do all of these things, and I can certainly vouch for them and that I really enjoy using the service. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today to get started right now. Welcome to episode 9 of the Wrestling Hypothesis podcast for your Sunday, February 9th, 2020. I'm the ABA. Joining me as always is, oh god, here we go, Richard.
What's up?
Ricardo.
Hi. It's because I know it's coming.
Oh,
just speak.
Oh man, he's just dreading the freaking because he has to introduce all four of us.
My nigga,
including himself.
I am fucking tired.
Oh my goodness.
I woke up at 7 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. I am exhausted. I am not a morning person.
I was up at 7 a.m. too, and I ran errands.
Did you cook? I'm fucking tired.
But from Lego My Eggo box.
Yes, my Lego My Eggo box. Damn right. I don't care.
Better something than nothing, right?
That's right.
Yes.
All right, we also got King Kenny joining us.
King is back for the second consecutive, episode of the year, I think. Is it?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and last but not least, the first lady of the show, Tara.
Yeah, we needed someone that talks like a squirrel.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did not.
Yeah.
Well, we did have a discussion about squirrels, so let's not even go there.
I mean, it's a cute,
No, that is not going to be my introduction all the time.
Okay. I'm just gonna say that every time you start talking. Okay, all right.
My throat was dry too. Okay, anyway.
Probably because of all that coffee.
All this coffee is just making everyone so out of it right now. You can listen to this podcast as of right now on various different podcast platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. And if you are listening via Apple Podcasts, please be sure to give us a star rating as well as some thoughts on what you think of our show. If you feel like there's anything we need to improve on or even anything we're doing right well as it is, please let us know that way. You can like our official page over on Facebook to keep up with the latest updates on the podcast, as well as also leaving us a review on there. And if you haven't done so already, you can check out episodes 1 through 8 using any of the aforementioned platforms, as well as visiting our website, anchor.fm/wrestling-hypothesis. Last week was our most listened to episode so far, where we gave our thoughts on the Royal Rumble event, as well as the fallout following the show there. A little later than we would have liked, I'll admit, as other podcasts gave their insight almost immediately after, and this is something we're definitely going to try to do more of.
Yeah.
As we can, so you guys don't have to wait like a full week or 2 weeks for it. Obviously, no promises on this, as not all of us are always available to record, but we'll see what we can do on that front. We also discussed our thoughts on Brock Lesnar being called the greatest in-ring performer of all time by John Cena, so if you want to hear our thoughts and intake on that, you can check out last week's episode of the podcast if haven't done so already. Just a few days ago, WWE held their quarterly conference call where they discussed their financial results. This one was for the end of 2019 last year. Revenues increased 18% to $322.8 million, which was the highest quarterly revenue that the WWE has ever had in its history. Now, the WWE Network was mentioned here later on, as we were told that the network had 1.42 million subscribers for the fourth quarter last year, and this was down 10% from, I believe, the previous quarter. Vince McMahon has stated that, regarding the network, that the company is pursuing several strategic initiatives that could increase the monetization of its content in 2020 and or subsequent years. He also said here that there is no better time to sell rights to the major companies. They're clamoring for their content, and that could be a significant increase in our revenue. I already saw some people conclude that it's pretty much a done deal that WWE is looking to sell their pay-per-view rights to a second revenue stream. I can kind of understand why WWE would want to branch out to other streaming services and have them gain rights to air their monthly shows, because if you guys think about it, the network subscription numbers have been down 10%.
Yeah.
To the point where they're probably taken aback by the amount they lost.
Yeah.
Maybe they did expect it to some degree, since they did take NXT out of the network and onto network television in USA Network back in September. So there was certainly going to be a drop in subscribers because to some people, their main reason for subscribing to the network was NXT.
Right.
Not only that, also to watch pay-per-views.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only reason why I, even subscribe to the network. I mean, not that I religiously watch these B-rated pay-per-views anyway, because, I have better things to do with my time.
Right.
But I try to watch the Big Four, and I've never missed an NXT pay-per-view. So that's a big component in why I actually have the network.
Well, I sometimes go back and watch old matches, but yeah, I mean, it's mainly recently with life I've just been busy. So I have been only watching the pay-per-view, so I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Granted, it's a Netflix access for me.
Yeah.
It's a shared access, so I don't pay for it.
To be honest with you, I don't mind Vince. Maybe he's shopping around a little bit to kind of find buyers for WWE pay-per-view. I don't mind him doing that. I mean, the network is such a steal, though. You're getting it for a premium. You're getting it at a discount for $10.99. Yeah, it definitely beats buying any other UFC pay-per-view
exactly.
for like
$60,
right? So you kind of have to, with WWE pay-per-views, I don't have to choose when I get to part with my money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not paying $60 every month to watch a pay-per-view.
Can you imagine them going back to that?
But can you imagine paying $60 for what the pay-per-views are now?
The qualities is now.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Especially non-Big Four events.
Right.
Forget it.
So I mean, think of it this way, right? Vince shopping, for buyers. Really, you got to understand what this means. This means we might see WWE pay-per-views on an ESPN Plus subscription,
exactly,
or Netflix. Like imagine that for a minute. Imagine Vince going to Netflix or a Hulu or Disney Plus and saying, "Listen, for a price, I'll give you my pay-per-views, the rights to air my pay-per-views on your platform." Like that, I think will be big. But where does this leave the WWE network?
Yeah, I was gonna.
You know what I mean? Like
it will lose its value.
I honestly don't think. I honestly don't think that we can just skip past the fact that the only thing the WWE network, at least mostly, is good for it, by and large, is the pay-per-views and NXT. Without that, right? But with NXT gone, and without the possibility of the pay-per-views being aired on the network, what do we really have?
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Exactly.
I'm a huge fan of the Attitude Era. This new Attitude Era special that they're doing, great. That ain't gonna last forever.
Exactly.
So where do we go from here in terms of the network? Should I be thinking about unsubscribing to the network?
Yeah, because think about it. They have a limited amount. They only have so much material to go through before it gets played out. The Attitude Era is already, you can argue, is starting to get played out.
The thing is, what makes it even more difficult for this? They keep cutting out certain shows that they're continuously doing. Like, for example, the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast.
Yeah,
everybody loved the podcast, including myself.
When it initially began. Yeah.
No. When it first started, I loved it. I'm talking about the amount of guests.
Yeah, they had
the first episode that got me hooked. Brock Lesnar was the first guy. No,
Vince
McMahon was.
Vince
McMahon was the first guy. Then it was Brock.
Yeah.
Then I see Seth.
Then so on and
so on. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's talking to like real guys that actually care about.
When Chris Jericho came on with his podcast,
exactly, and then he
had John Cena on and had
exactly.
It was a come down.
And also, don't forget. Remember, Talking Smack on the network.
Talking Smack.
That was the shit.
Was huge, amazing. Talking Smack was amazing.
Talking Smack was big.
When the draft 2016, they are Talking Smack on the network. I'm like, oh, okay, go right to the network. Who can forget that infamous episode with the Miz and Bryan? Come on,
because like you see, that's what makes it even more difficult process. Bringing it up to Kenny's point, about the lackluster shows that us fans hardly give a damn about,
because it's fixable.
It's extremely fixable, because like out of all shows in the podcast, I mean not in the podcast, in the network. Thank you, in the network. Besides Austin's podcast and the up and coming Ruthless Aggression thing that we're about to do, what is there to watch on the network? What is there to watch on the network besides Austin's podcast and the up and coming Ruthless Aggression
era? Plus Mania.
Yeah, plus Mania and the other pay-per-views. There's nothing.
It's like I was saying before. You only have a limited amount of of content to talk about, like romanticizing the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, before people just go up in arms and find it overrated, overhyped. People start to have that feeling.
And they're really big documentaries. They do it with like HBO and Showtime and all that other
They did
stuff.
Andre,
Yeah.
they did Rick.
Yeah.
So it's
ESPN.
like
They did Morrow.
To be honest
I
with
need an
you,
HBO subscription.
to be honest with you, what Kenny said about selling to the other
Streaming
platforms,
services.
it could possibly work.
It can.
It could work, and honestly, Vince could get
A lot.
twice as much money he's ever did when he made the network. Because you got to think about it like this: Kenny is a businessman, right?
He's a finance guy, yeah.
Right.
You go to him for everything on finance.
He's thinking of what Vince is thinking. I'm like, okay, the network is currently not working.
What can I do to fix it?
Yes. And what has he done in the past that worked? Richard, you said it. Tara, you said it. Documentaries. Give it to HBO. Andre the Giant.
They did Ric Flair.
To me, the best one they did was Ric Flair.
Hands down.
The best
ESPN,
one.
right?
And
30 for 30.
30 for 30.
They also did Morrow, which
Morrow
was
was
fantastic.
fantastic.
They did
I'm
it was
like,
fantastic.
you
was
did
great.
3 great documentaries on 3 great people, and it was fire.
Do a documentary about the Attitude Era. Do a documentary about
No. They did.
No, you
no.
don't need to, you can't spam with documentaries because
You can't
spam.
spam. Yeah, exactly.
It
You
doesn't
can't
make it
spam
special.
with documentaries.
One documentary a year is good.
Yeah,
enough.
one documentary.
Or two.
Yeah, 1 to 2 is
I think that's
enough in terms of documentaries, but it has to be the specific person.
Yeah.
I
No,
think that's
what about
the issue
specific
with
events?
WWE.
no events.
No events.
No,
Yeah.
documentary has to be a person. It has to be a person.
Yeah.
I think that's just the
Like,
issue
for
with
exa-
WWE
like,
more of a
is like
biopic.
once
More
they
exactly.
It's like they do one thing that makes a lot of money and then they jump on and they're like, no more.
But the
more,
thing
more.
is,
I'm like,
but the thing is,
They're a business.
yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing is this: like, for example, let's take The Rock for example. He'll be perfect.
Oh yeah.
Because he's known by everybody.
No, it's not the fact that he's known by everybody. We know him to be as the wrestler and the actor. We don't know him as the family man
Or in the person.
and the person behind the scenes.
Not enough people know.
Not enough people know that besides his own family and niggas in the WWE.
And the diehards, yeah.
Exactly, in the diehards. We don't know that, and we see that. That's money.
Can I bring up a point about what you said about about me being a businessman? That is true.
Yeah, no,
But more to a specific point. You guys have to realize how important this is.
Yeah.
Because what Vince is trying to do is literally subsidize the network to other platforms, right? So that they can maybe buy some stuff off the network, right? So the pay-per-views, for example. Imagine seeing the pay-per-view on Netflix or on Disney Plus being streamed live. Think about that. How many more million people subscribe to Disney Plus or Netflix? Like, Netflix has probably over 50 million subscribers
Yeah.
by far.
Ain't counting.
Think about that for a minute. Think about the
Disney Plus just came in.
Think about the difference between the network subscribers and Netflix subscribers, right? Netflix literally has 50 million eyes, 49 million more eyes than the network has.
Yup.
Think about that for a minute, and I want you, and I want our listeners to really think about how big this is. If he pulls it off, he'll make easily twice the money he's making on
More eyes, more exposure.
He will gain as much money as he lost. He will gain much more money than he lost than he has.
To be honest, to be honest,
Yeah.
I think they should try to sell WrestleMania. I think they should try to sell WrestleMania and see where that takes them.
I agree.
It's the biggest
If they sell WrestleMania to a big,
I say Fox.
I agree.
I say
Well,
Fox.
it looks like that's going to be the worst,
So
though.
I heard that he's scrambling to find someone new because of this whole agreement with Fox,
Right.
and where they're
Yeah.
trying to actually just make him step down.
Yeah.
Because of how
Disappointing the
disappointing
viewership
matches
has been
and
for
everything
SmackDown.
has been.
Well,
So I feel like he's
Yeah.
kind of scrambling to be like,
right now,
Yeah.
because
well,
Vince is
let me
desperate.
find someone
how-
who's about to give me more money for this.
Right.
he's desperate right now.
Yeah.
How sad is it? I saw this. I saw the rating viewership numbers this morning for
SmackDown yesterday.
Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW. All the shows, SmackDown did the best out of everything.
No, the reason why
2.4 million.
Yeah.
because they have the most exposure.
Right.
And even that's just disappointing for Fox.
It's not.
They expect
because they want
4 or 5 million.
because remember, Fox is a big company. Remember the last time SmackDown had a big rating for SmackDown was their 20th anniversary show.
The first show on Fox.
That was seriously like over a 3. Ever since they saw that episode, okay, we're going somewhere.
Because Rock was on.
Rock
was there. The ratings was at a 4.9.
Exactly.
No, but you want to know why it should also be doing well? Because if you think about it, Fox is one of the basic channels that comes with any.
And everyone has Fox.
Everyone has it. So you know what I mean? Even if you literally have the basic
Ricardo
channels
said,
and you're just flipping through and there's nothing on, you should just be like watching wrestling, like, oh, that's kind of cool.
The thing is with Fox is that like they treat WWE like it's a true sporting event, which I highly respect. Fox, which I highly respect, right? When WWE still in deals with ESPN, but ESPN to some degree, because me and Kenny watch ESPN more than any of y'all.
We know,
right? Right. ESPN slowly, even though they're still partners with WWE, they discredit WWE at the same time in their own shows. When it comes to Fox, they promote it. I see it on every commercial.
Even football games.
Whenever I watch it, whenever I watch Skip and Shannon Undisputed, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, to some degree on Speak for Yourself, every football game.
Yeah.
Are you like shooting a commercial for Fox?
No.
He's indirectly advertising.
The thing is, it's
all over.
You see it all over. Fox is all about promotion
and advertising.
And advertising, which ESPN lacks. You can make a case right now. Fox is the best brand in sports than ESPN.
Well,
no, I said arguably, obviously.
Okay.
Arguably.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
No. He said it.
Calm down, Tiger.
Right? But Fox knows how to promote than ESPN. Back to Kenny's point, selling WrestleMania. You see how right now the XFL is being hyped? The XFL is being hyped right now because of Fox. Right? Back then, the XFL would not have worked back then in the early 2000s, which it didn't work. It was abysmal. Now that how social media is big, technology is better, football is better, in terms of everything, the XFL could possibly work as the little brother brand to the NFL. Kenny said sell WrestleMania. Fox will promote the hell out of WrestleMania.
Yes. WrestleMania is the Super Bowl
of wrestling.
No question.
So.
Fox will promote the hell out of that shit. Yeah. Just like how they promoted SmackDown on the first episode.
They will even
and you know what's even better than that? All you gotta do is once a year. Not every episode like you do for SmackDown.
And plus, if WrestleMania went to Fox, they will seriously do TV specials around WrestleMania, like they did for SmackDown when it first came. Like for example, they could do a special on the card about WrestleMania, history about WrestleMania, and shit like that.
I wouldn't say history.
No.
I was saying history.
No, because they
honestly.
No, they did that. They did that for SmackDown. I won't be surprised if they did it for Mania if they got it. Because you gotta promote everything.
Yeah. Fox promotes Raw. Like if you pay attention,
Fox even promotes Raw.
Even though it's on USA Network,
Fox promotes Raw.
They'll help promote everything about WWE.
Okay, but back to WrestleMania, the lack of viewership on the network towards WrestleMania is hit and miss.
Because around WrestleMania time, a lot of people watch it.
Yeah, I know, but it's hit or miss. It's up and down due to the amount of hours that WrestleMania is currently. Like it was 7 hours last year. No, I'm not watching wrestling for 7 hours, and I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not watching that.
The past 4 or 5 Manias.
Exactly. That's crazy.
It would just be past midnight.
Yeah.
The next day.
But for Fox,
they don't play around with that.
They don't play around. They will seriously promote the hell out of that shit like it's a heavyweight boxing fight, and everybody will watch that. It's all about hype and promotion towards WrestleMania. WWE can do the other stuff in terms of the wrestling. They got that. But you need viewers to watch WrestleMania. And they don't have that in the network. You sell WrestleMania to Fox, Fox will handle the promotion. And WWE will handle the wrestling.
And here's the problem about selling WrestleMania to Fox. Fox doesn't have a streaming service.
They don't.
Okay?
They don't.
Yeah.
And that's why it's better if you sell it to someone like ESPN or Disney. you know, because Disney owns ESPN. So you sell it to Disney and see what they think. If Disney takes you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Fox doesn't have a streaming service. Like, the best they can do is possibly stream it on, I don't know, like, what channel are they going to stream it on? On Fox 5? And give the whole fucking pay-per-view away for free?
So, wait, but this is why I wanted to bring that up. Adding to that, do you see if Fox were to acquire the rights to air WrestleMania, but sell it as a pay-per-view, $60 to watch the show?
No. But they can. But look.
Where they just
Exactly.
stream it
See,
for free.
you want to know what makes the Super Bowl so special? It's the fact that the NFL sells the time, right? The time to companies, right? To then, you know, bring them in and air ads.
Yeah, you pay millions and millions for a 30-second commercial.
Exactly, for 30 seconds. So
it's ridiculous.
So
but
maybe Fox can sell that.
Exactly.
Right? Maybe
the exposure's there, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe Fox can sell that, you know, and have the WWE, you know, bring in some of these companies to buy time on those time slots. Because
they can
think
do
about
that.
it. Think about it. How many million viewers are we expecting for WrestleMania if it's on live television
For free.
for free?
But here's
How many million people are going to watch that?
That's legitimately a good question.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
6, 7, maybe 8?
Yeah, it could be as high as that.
Come on, like, this could... It could work.
It could work.
It's no Super Bowl, though.
It's not Super Bowl. It's not
Nothing's
like
beating the Super Bowl.
140 million people watching.
But here's
it's
my
not that.
thing.
But.
Yeah.
I feel like Fox, if they already, I feel like in my head they probably already want Vince to step down. So my thing is, I feel like I wonder if he's actually going to do it for pride, or like if he's going to be like, I don't know if I really want to step down.
The thing is with Vince and
wrestling
Richard,
is his life.
Vince ain't gonna step
Vince
down.
is never stepping down.
He'll die before
He has to either croak. I mean, I'm not wishing for that directly, but if he were to croak,
I want to say something.
or his health is in
I
such
want to
poor
say
condition.
something. Remember that video you showed me last week about the McMahons?
Yeah.
Like you tagged me on YouTube. I learned one thing about Vince. Vince will like dead ass from that one video. Remember, I did not know this about when WrestleMania 1, the first one in 1985. Vince did whatever it took to get WrestleMania up and running. Like, I did not know he spent his life savings. This was what I learned. He spent his life savings. He sold everything.
WrestleMania then was the biggest gamble, biggest investment, and since, I mean, we didn't get another investment like that since the network.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not gonna lie, even back in the 70s when Vince wasn't even the owner yet, like he was literally just, you know, what was he?
An employee.
Yeah, he was just an employee, and he just basically did all the interviews and stuff like that. He was a spokesperson.
Commentator.
Commentator. There we go. I don't know
He did everything.
But he
up until the Attitude Era.
No, and when he took over, he really did change the brand and changed everything. Like he
I give him credit for that.
Vince was a genius.
Don't get me wrong.
No, but he doesn't know what works now. Yes,
exactly. That's what we're getting.
But however, I don't know if he's literally going to give up the brand. He basically
he will never. He
has lost.
In his words, saying he made like
he will never.
He has
lost. That's not gonna happen.
He has lost the credibility to make pay-per-views relevant.
Including
WrestleMania.
Well, that's an obvious. But that's my thing is that I feel like with Fox, obviously, you know, it's a big corporation. They're gonna do whatever gets them money. They don't care about your family woes or your personal.
It's a business at the end of the day.
Fox is cold-blooded.
Yeah, they're seriously cold-blooded. So it's like for me, I feel like that's one thing that will stop Vince from getting in the way of giving over rights to Fox is even if they give him all the money, I feel like he's still going to be like, I'm not stepping down. Like, this is my show. How dare you?
It's an empire he feels he's single-handedly built.
Day one.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's my thing. So, I don't know. He might not give it to Fox.
It's not he might. He will not give it to Fox.
You know what? We'll see, man. We'll see. Right? We'll see.
The one reason, though, I will say I am skeptical and that they may not end up following through with this idea is because what is one thing Vince McMahon, and this is what we basically just touched on, what is one thing Vince McMahon thrives on and will do whatever it takes to keep it? Control.
I was going to say Romans.
And if he doesn't have it, and if he doesn't have a single ounce of that, he feels he's powerless. Now, he may well be on his way to losing some control of WWE due to the XFL launching later today. They're having their first game in just a few hours, actually. So we could see where the direction's going to be going through with this idea of selling pay-per-view rights to like a Disney Plus or an ESPN. AEW Dynamite this past week had a pretty solid offering from this past week. They've been moving their key storylines along nicely for their Revolution show with this episode. The show opened with Jon Moxley against Ortiz of Pride and Powerful, or LAX, however you want to call them as. They had a match to start the show. Moxley won with a paradigm shift. After the match, Santana beat down Moxley before he fought back and got the upper hand. He then takes out his keys, Moxley does, to the 4GT that Chris Jericho gifted him with last month, as a ploy to get him to join the Inner Circle.
Palmer, a bitch.
Facts.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Even though that car was fire. I'm like, yo, can I have that car?
But I mean, listen, man. Before we go on, I gotta do it one time, just one time.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Jon Moxley. Okay, all right. I got it.
You right?
Yeah,
Kenny's good? Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, so to continue there, apparently Moxley has kept it all this time after turning them down. So I guess he didn't really steal it. Jericho did gift it to him. Anyways, Moxley has the keys in his hand. He jams it into Ortiz's eye as payback for what the Inner Circle did to him just 3 weeks ago. I mean, I've been entertained by this feud, and I think that the time is right for Jon Moxley to capture the AEW World title from Jericho.
Yeah, it's about that damn time, man.
He's as good as anybody, really.
Yeah. And you know what? What I like about Jon is that he is literally the... I can't remember someone saying hell no to WWE. I know Pac did it. And I know CM Punk did it, but he's a free agent right now.
Yeah.
It's nice to see someone that said no to the WWE go out there and make it. You know what I mean? I mean, we've had a lot of people, and this is a word that's been thrown around a lot, a WWE reject. You know what I mean? Someone Vince releases, then goes out into the indies and then does big things, right?
Yeah.
I hate that word, but it's nice to know that Moxley is not associated with that. Like, he's literally...
Yeah, it paints... I'm sorry.
He's literally the only guy that we can remember striking it hot.
I wouldn't say only, because if there were people that made like literal waves after.
There were a handful of cases.
There was a handful that Kurt, for example, they released Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
when they
when
released Kurt Angle, that was actually his golden years in wrestling. He had one of the best runs in wrestling, and then he literally came back to WWE when he was.
He was still one of the best wrestlers in the world when he left.
But yeah, he was. But would you say
champion?
That Kurt Angle? Because listen, TNA Kurt Angle was beast. He was boss. His matches with Samoa Joe or one of
AJ
Styles were classics, right? But honestly speaking, I loved the Kurt Angle I saw in the WWE.
It was like a step or two down.
Like, think about it, man. Kurt Angle was a big fish in a big pond in the WWE. He was wrestling in the best promotion in the world at that time.
At that time,
right?
But I'm saying he still had. They literally gave him up during his best years, so he did hit some of his best work.
Right.
In the
yeah.
80s.
Right.
So that is one thing
you're
that
right. You're right.
Yeah. So like I said, for Jon Moxley or Dean Ambrose,
we do not
say.
Listen.
Dean,
as long as we live, we will never mention that name ever.
Okay.
Please.
But for some diehard WWE fans, they
that
don't
shit.
know.
No.
Anyway, I would say, yeah, as you did say, I would say that I am kind of happy that he did make this change and it did work out for him, and he is now like, he's been in so many matches that you're like, holy shit, I didn't even know he had this in him.
Right.
Like, you knew, but you didn't. Like, you it's like you've been WWE.
He got his passion, he got his drive
exactly.
back.
And see, that's what I'm saying, right? Kurt, it didn't, like, you knew Kurt could do the things he did at TNA. When he turned into greatness at TNA, you weren't shocked, right?
No way.
There's nothing that made you say, oh, nah, I didn't know Kurt Angle could do that.
That's one of the best wrestlers in the world in TNA right now.
He was always the best wrestler in the world, even when he left the WWE.
That's it.
But Jon Moxley, we literally didn't know. We were not sure how he would transition into AEW.
Yeah.
It seemed like he has hit his peak
from night one
right now. Like,
but
this is his best work.
But remember, even when AEW did that promotion when he first signed, and they kind of they cut a quick promo where he was just like going with this whole lunatic thing. Dang, they took what WWE's intention was for him, and they just
No, because not only that. Remember Double or Nothing from last year in May. Dean Ambrose, John Moxley.
You'll feel the wrestling.
You see what you did?
Within that one appearance from last year, he became a star within 15 minutes that he was in WWE for the last 6 years.
Time, I was like,
within one
so true.
15 minutes. Just like that.
And that's what
and plus at Revolution in about 2 weeks from now, I see him winning the World Championship. And when they go back to Vegas in May for Double or Nothing, this dude will go so over. I don't know who's gonna be his opponent, who it is. I see him retaining that title at Double or Nothing.
But you know why it's so funny? Because remember, like when WWE was literally on the fence, we didn't know what the hell was happening. Remember when he was just he was so lazy with his matches? I feel like he was just rolling on.
Yeah, because he was ready
to. The last 3 years, that's exactly what he was doing.
He was literally just lying down in the ring, like pin me.
Right, and you know what? That harkens back to my point, right? Yeah, like you brought up Kurt Angle earlier. Kurt Angle was always at the top in the WWE. Like he was easily top 5 each year. Like he came in as an Olympic gold medalist. Like dude, he was one of the best athletes, if not the best athlete in the world at that time.
Exactly. And think about this: Kurt Angle half-assing it.
Right.
Like even Kurt Angle half-assing it, it's still a damn good Kurt Angle.
So and that's what I meant by we have never seen this type of growth before because from when he was in the WWE to where he is now, right? You can argue like Jon Moxley is top 5 wrestler in the world today.
Definitely.
Yeah. No.
He's not number 1 by any means, but
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there are people that did make waves that people were just like, oh, WWE, what are you? But they still made a name for themselves in the independent circuit.
Yeah.
Honestly, we can even say the same with the Hardy Brothers. We've only associated Hardy Brothers with WWE, but in the independent circuit, they actually got WWE to notice them again. Because remember with the whole deletion, broken.
But no, that's different. That's a team.
Because
that's a team.
Yeah, it is a team.
That's different.
But the Hardy Boys were big even when they left the WWE.
No, but that's my point. Is like people always associated them with WWE.
No, but the thing is, you're insinuating if the Hardys left, they did not make a name. They won't make a name for themselves. The Hardys were big,
right,
in WWE. So no matter where they go, they're like, yo, we're known.
Like
that's it.
I know, but I'm saying it's just the fact that it is crazy though that they still were able to even get WWE to want them back because WWE, remember, they were at a point where they were like,
with you, Tara,
we're good.
To be honest. I mean, come on. The WWE was always going to welcome them back.
Yeah.
It was only a matter of time.
They needed them more than they needed WWE.
Exactly.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Because even if I don't know if you guys watched their documentary that they did with WWE.
I did. I missed it twice.
No, but there was a point that WWE was just like. Yeah, I don't know, because like they kept having their addiction issues and stuff like that.
Right.
And
mainly
conduct.
Mainly
No, but you knew that was going to eventually heal with time.
I knew, but
right?
like
older, wiser.
But it kind of just worked out for them because they created a whole broken universe outside of WWE, and they were still.
Yes, and you know what's even better than that?
There was no doubt though.
They made themselves bigger stars. Mostly my boy Jeff Hardy.
I know, I love Jeff.
A bigger star than ever before.
Honestly,
no, I said mostly.
Did he though?
No. I'm talking about singles competitors.
No. Because as singles competitor, he was world champion.
I just said that. I just said that. No. I'm talking about like. I'm only talking about after WWE, like when they leave.
No. Okay, so you're saying
no, when they left
as a singles competitor,
only singles.
Right. After he left the WWE,
yes,
he did great things.
Yes,
and I'm not debating that. But I'm arguing that he was a bigger singles competitor
by far.
in the WWE
than
he was ever.
Oh, no question.
Right.
No question. At the time when Jeff Hardy was a singles competitor in 2009, he was number 1, the best.
2008. You mean?
2008.
Yeah.
Whatever. In 2008, Jeff Hardy was number 1. He was getting more sales and more money than John Cena.
Yeah. No, but I don't doubt them as people, but I'm saying that it was kind of insane. And then if you kind of think about it, I felt like Dean Ambrose was always good. Well, okay. Jon Moxley.
You're triggering.
Yeah.
Jon Moxley was always going to have somewhat of a following because of Dean Ambrose and the Shield. There were, as much as people don't like the Shield.
No, I'll give you that.
The Shield still has a very good amount.
WWE gave them a huge platform to work and base themselves off.
So I feel like, you know, John Moxley, aka Dean, still being a part of it.
Oh my God.
Okay,
they're gonna blow it.
I'm gonna say this right now. I need you to stop saying John Moxley.
Yes, please.
That is not his name anymore.
That's what you just said.
Yes, it is.
See what you did? Now you fucked up. Now you fucked this up.
Why? You know
Wait, time out. Wait.
Both of you do rock, paper, scissors and see who's gonna rant on her.
Who's gonna rant?
Because
you know what? I don't know if we want to do this right now.
It doesn't even matter. No, it doesn't even matter.
They know it's a mistake.
But honestly, I hated the whole Dean Ambrose persona. But I
stop saying his name.
But that,
she said in a negative light.
I don't care. She's saying his name.
And it's still funny because I always just think of Michael Cole. Oh my God, lunatic fringe. Anyway.
It's the big dog.
It's boss time.
Or like whenever he goes or whenever they say like, he's about to get crazy. He's about to, and literally Dean Ambrose's face is just him being like just snarling. But
okay,
I can't.
I'm gonna take a shot every time.
Anyway.
Where's your liquor? I'm gonna take a shot every time she says Dean Ambrose.
Anyway, my point is,
I need to numb the pain.
My point is,
at this point,
he is. I feel like he would still have a following, but yes, it is kind of crazy that he transformed himself. Like, it was a complete 180, and I felt like he always kind of had it in him because in WWE, he always looked bored.
Yeah.
But now it's like, it's kind of like when Brock actually puts on a good show.
Yep.
It's like, whoa. Yeah. Like, there is something happening. Like, this is actually entertaining to watch. And, like, the amount of brutality that's in it, it's completely worth it. So, yes, I am all for John Moxley, even though I joke about his name. Yeah. He whose name we shall not name.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Voldemort.
Is Lunatic Fringe okay?
Alright, so the other big thing happened in AEW Dynamite this past week was the 10 Lashes segment.
Yeah.
For the main event, this is one of the stipulations that Cody had to do in order to get his match and his hands on MJF at Revolution in a few weeks. Just a great closing segment of the show that had such big old school vibes to it.
Can we talk about how great Cody Rhodes is?
Yeah.
How amazing this man is.
Yeah. The greatest storyteller in wrestling today.
He's probably the best
Cody Rhodes.
The GOAT.
Would be a fucking legend.
I think he already is.
No, well, yes. You know what? He is a legend. I'll take.
He forged his way to the top, and he is someone that WWE let go of, and he became a bigger star than WWE
There's another example.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really sad.
And you know what?
It's a shame. Cody's the world champion.
And you know what?
They slept on my man.
Right. The segment, the best thing that I felt about the segment was that it was fucking real. Like,
he felt those lashes.
Like he took 10 fucking, like, do you know how difficult it is? Bare skin, like, you got, oh man.
Anyone ever been whipped by their parents?
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
The feeling.
When I've been whipped by my mom, I've had clothes on my back. Okay, so I felt the pain, but it wasn't like he felt. Like I would never ever.
That nigga took battle scars.
Yeah.
No,
that Wardlow hit with. Oh my god.
Yeah, Brandy like literally posted a picture of his back, and you saw the purple and
the
pink mark, and I was just
and
like,
you know what? I don't normally, because I'm not a big Brandy Rhodes fan. Okay, I'm not. But her reaction when she walked down the ramp.
She wasn't the manager. She was the wife.
Right. And you see, like, her facial reaction. Like, I literally felt bad for her. You know what I mean?
She was just like, you got this.
Yeah.
Even when freaking Goldust came out, it was like,
let me get the rest. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's a
you had Arn Anderson, you had Goldust, you had the Young Bucks, Brandy, Brandy Rose, the Elite. I'm like, yo. Everybody is like literally like, yo, they want to take a shot.
And one each. You had the heels from the rest of the roster just standing.
No, not exactly. Because you know why? You know what? Even that's what I think people miss. That was the beauty of it. The heels,
right?
In AEW, actually, literally looked like, yo.
Yeah, like
I'm like, yo, real talk. I'm like, yo, even though I'm a heel, I'm like,
I'm enjoying this.
I respect this man.
And you know what?
I respect this
what was
man.
so fun about it too? Everyone in the locker room seemed invested. They seemed to care, even if they didn't have anything directly to do with the story
At all.
They seemed invested, and that's what I like to see, man. Like, we act like some of these big moments don't happen.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, during that Edge segment, I would have loved to see some locker room guys come out.
Christian. Just even a Christian, like him coming
not
out,
even Beth
just
Phoenix
coming out
Christian,
like for concern.
But maybe some other guys come out and be like, "Yo, what's up? Like, is he alright?" Like, I want these segments to feel,
moment.
you know,
real.
That was the greatest moment when they were like, here comes Dustin looking out for his brother, and like he's just like, just give it to me, like I'll take it, and he was just like, Cody,
you see the thing is, like what my boy Kenny said. I think it was either an episode ago or 2 episodes ago about Randy Orton and Triple H.
Yeah.
In the 70%,
Yeah.
It felt just like that.
Yeah.
It felt just like that. But the difference was, it was like obviously it was Randy Orton doing DDT on Stephanie.
Yeah.
This was actually a belt.
Yeah.
That's like the belt is equivalent to a fucking whip.
But that's one thing I'll give AEW is they're always pushing the envelope and they're always just making it more like whoa, like.
And you know what's the beauty of it? That's what WWE lost.
Yeah.
Yes.
They lost.
They tried to beat PG.
No. It's the reason why they went PG. Because back then the segments used to feel or even look real, and they lost that when they went to PG. But when it came to AEW, Cody Rhodes decided like, yo, real talk, we're going real. The audience gotta feel what we feel, the realism of the segment.
But that's the thing, like, I felt like he took his knowledge from being in New Japan and in the independent circuits and just kind of made it into he brought it to American wrestling and folded over. I mean, not that ROH or any other independent circuit doesn't do that, but I'm saying that he took their name and he basically stamped it on, and he fused WWE and Japan and New Japan and made it one. And I think that's what makes it so good. Can
we talk about the evolution of MJF?
Because
listen,
I'm not gonna lie, I hated him.
And
that's the point.
No. When he first, I mean from the beginning, before we even had
why
a
did you hate him?
I don't know. I just don't like him.
I love him.
Go ahead. Here was my main point that I wanted to make about MJF. Despite what you want to say about MJF, or how you feel about him, because to be honest, I didn't like him at first either.
I think nobody did.
And that was because he was a cocky bastard. But that's his job.
No, that's his job. But I don't know. It just didn't work for me. Okay. I was just like, I hate this guy every time.
So in order for this to work, you need a good heel.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Fuck that. You need a great heel.
It's kind of like Joey Janela to me. That's what I see.
Whoa.
What about Joey Janela?
I don't like him. I don't know why.
But that's for a different reason. You just don't care for him.
No, even when I saw him like in like any independent matches, like even when I saw him in All In, I was just like, oh god.
MJF is the best heel in wrestling.
Well, look at
in wrestling right now. Who's a better heel than him?
Right now,
who's a better heel than him?
Oh my god.
Tell him, Abba.
What?
Just say
who beat the shit out of Edge?
That was a.
Oh, you know what? I completely. I gotta make an apology to myself.
Listen.
Being dumb.
We'll talk
I completely
about Raw.
said that.
I
completely said that last week. I'm a fucking idiot.
You know what Randy did in Raw when he came out?
You know what?
He said pretty much, like, I would have honestly had Randy just come out, take all the boos, act like he's about to talk, drop the mic, and leave. And he'd still get a lot of comments.
I forgot about that.
That's essentially what he did.
I completely forgot about that.
And he got as much boos.
The best up-and-coming heel.
The best.
Okay.
Look.
Yes.
Okay, so here's my main point about
veterans.
Here's my main point about MJF. You have great heels in wrestling, and great heels, all-time great heels, come probably every 10 years. Right? It was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You mean like to define a decade, pretty much? Okay.
Yeah. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I believe it was Triple H's time.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And after that, we've had our Chris Jericho's here, but I'm talking like heels that we're actually scared of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Randy Orton. Now, it's looking like that Randy Orton time is coming. It's
coming to an end.
It's coming to an end
slowly though,
because he's at the back end of his career than he is at the front end. Let's be honest.
No question.
So now it's MJF's time, and I feel like what MJF did to just further along move the storyline. To be quite honest with you, when he mentioned the 10 lashes, I wasn't interested. I'm like, what?
I wasn't interested either.
That's ridiculous. Who the hell's going?
It's like
how the hell would they play it off? But let me tell you something, man. What MJF did, right, was disgusting, and it was brutal,
vicious,
and I loved every single second of it. Like it was the stuff he said to Cody. I would never say to my worst enemy.
You called him a bitch at one point after a lash.
But yeah, like
it was honestly, but I will say, even though I'm not a big fan of him, I did like the segment, and I thought it was the funniest thing when after the 10 lashes, he literally just was like, "Oh shit, let's get out of here! Let's get out of here!"
He kicked him in the balls.
He thought he failed his job because he was like, he did the 10 lashes. Right. I have to go through with the match.
Exactly. He has to get through all
the Wardlow. Steel cage.
Well, the thing is, the beauty of it, going back to the low blow, in his mind, he was like, "Yo, I could think of something worse than this." Imagine bring something worse than that.
Look, he was just salty.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love the fact that he was salty and he was human at that point.
Character
to where
was everywhere.
That's the most MJ. He did the most MJF thing he could possibly do.
He was pissed.
Yeah, he was pissed.
When the 10 lashes, he went with it.
Right, and he just kicked it. And after you guys saw that, a random fan attacked.
I didn't
MJF.
know it was a fan. I thought it was literally security.
No, it was a fan. It was a fan. Like a fan came, he attacked.
That is
MJF,
old
right?
school.
And you know what? No other heel generated that kind of reaction.
Attitude era.
And that's why I said there comes an all-time great heel every 10 years. You're looking at the next great heel, MJF.
He's going to define the 2020s.
Yes, I believe.
But you know what? Yes. One thing that I do like about that, and I think that's one thing that I will always give AEW that WWE doesn't do, and I think this is the mistake.
Stopped doing.
No, actually, no. I would say this is a mistake that they're making.
Okay.
AEW, yes, they have some no names and new names, but I feel like they are really taking these new names and making them a somebody.
No, that's the main point of AEW.
No,
almost their entire roster.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, and that's one thing that I like is like a lot of people are like, a lot of non-AEW fans were saying like, oh, who cares? Like, I don't really care like to see Jericho's trash and all this other stuff. Because like, and even with Cody, it's like kind of like people were like, oh, he's not going to do that great. But that's one thing I will say is they're taking these people and literally making them a somebody. And that's one thing WWE doesn't do is that they're kind of burying their new talent.
In the main roster.
They
do it. They don't do that in NXT.
No, yes. NXT
so
is
that's
right,
what, so like to buffer to fix your point, I wouldn't say WWE doesn't do it. I just say they stop doing it consistently. They don't do it. They do it for NXT. They stop doing it in the main roster.
Well, but then we're only speaking about the main roster.
Yeah. Okay. Because I agree. Then yes.
Because NXT. That's the only show that is given. That's Triple H's. But we know once they actually get to the main roster that they're getting buried. And that's the issue.
And that's why currently right now, like how back then when NXT first started, when people got from NXT to main roster, it's gonna be great. That's not the case no more. It's the reverse. To me, like for example, if a person from NXT goes to the main roster, that's a demotion.
Yeah,
hands down.
That's a demotion.
Yeah.
Hands down.
If people from the main roster goes back to NXT, that's a promotion. Because, for example, look at Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, it's going to be Charlotte. Sooner. Yeah. I'm saying sooner.
Yeah. Okay.
And plus, a number of people in the main roster right now should go back to NXT. Can you imagine the Revival going against Undisputed again, but this time at a takeover for the tag titles?
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, but to AEW, here's the thing. Here's what I don't think people realize. AEW is beginning to blossom.
And it's crazy because it's less than a year. It's been less than a year. I
haven't reached a full year yet.
It hasn't even reached a full year. And people were doubting
because here's the thing. And I'm not going to lie to you, including myself.
Same.
And you remember,
including myself.
And you remember, I was so diehard, like,
yes.
You
but
need
then, but no, because like, but I feel like AEW needed that. Hear about it and see what they're gonna do next.
Yeah.
Right. Based on what's happening right now, the biggest rivalry right now is MJF and Cody Rhodes.
It's not even Rhodes. It's not even Jericho and Moxley.
In AEW. AEW is blossoming now. Jericho was the first person to say that AEW is gonna be big.
Because he should have been that way.
Vince's main guy. That was one of Vince's main people. And for
real.
him to leave, Jericho is not leaving.
Jericho was a big proponent to Vince's success. Jericho, right? Jericho knows when he sees talent. Jericho ain't stupid. This dude is one of the best minds in professional wrestling.
And that was my biggest point. One of my biggest points when AEW was first being introduced, was I was just like, Jericho would not jump ship unless it was a solid built ship that was going somewhere. Like,
At first, it was money.
Why Jericho left?
Yeah, at first.
Okay.
At first, it was money because he admitted that. Right, but then he saw what Cody Rhodes was doing, and the talent, and the talent he was getting out. He was like, I'm like, okay,
and that's
we got something to work with.
People didn't realize is that Cody Rhodes is not just a wrestler; he is a solid businessman.
Mm-hmm.
This man knows business. This man literally knows business. And then I think what worked to their talent, what worked with them, was the fact that not only did they have minds from WWE that knew what worked for WWE, but they also had that knowledge of independent circuits that kind of brought in and was able to make the perfect combination.
In addition to that, remember back with the three of us, me and Richard and Alba had, me and Richard, he was like, yo, in terms of WWE, you do not want to face the Rhodes family.
Oh, you do
remember
not.
when we said that? I remember when we said that. I was like, the Rhodes family is the one family in wrestling you don't want to fuck with, right? Because they know
the business,
and they know talent. Cody Rhodes took talent out of any wrestling promotion throughout the world, told them to come to AEW and strive.
That's what
MJF is making.
That's what Dusty did for NXT when it first started.
Exactly.
And I think he was a brainchild. I think we can all close by saying this. Dusty taught his son as well.
That's right.
He did.
And that will be always. I will think that will always be WWE's biggest regret.
Downfall
was just giving up on Cody Rhodes when he first started out. When they buried him, and I never understood it because they had so much
potential.
They had so much people that
Cody Rhodes when he was in WWE.
That were legacy wrestlers.
Yeah.
So that's why I was surprised that they slept on him the most because even when he became the Nightmare in New Japan, they were trying to get him back like crazy, and he was like, "No, you slept on me." They did the same with Kenny Omega, but that's a different story.
And plus Cody's best work in WWE. Remember the disfigured Cody Rhodes? That was his best.
I was legit scared of him.
And what?
I was like 10 years old. Leave me alone.
Oh yeah, but to me, and I think all of us could agree to that. With the disfigured Cody Rhodes, remember his rivalry with Orton in mid-fall? Me personally, I thought that would have led to a World Championship title run, like the rivalry building towards the title run, but then they did not do it. They fell off heavily. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? He brought back the IC title.
That was
the white title. He had a great rivalry with Orton. And then I said, hope he gets a World Championship run, and then they didn't do it. And now fast forward to today.
And then you know what's even worse? They actually were naive enough, I feel like, to let go of Dustin Rhodes. And I felt like a lot of people were
I look in terms of Goldust, whatever. I understand about that. His time was done.
His time was done.
His time was done, but I felt like as far as the business and as far as curating everything, they could have still had him on for that. But I felt like a lot of people were kind of sleeping on Goldust because they were just like, who cares? He's old. Like,
he's a background player.
No one really cares. But I felt like as soon as he went to AEW, not only did he like it literally became a game changer because then it became the Nightmare Family, and now it's like you're just like even more in tune because you're seeing like the Rhodes family literally dominating wrestling in less than a year.
Listen, Cody has had a great mind for the business. Dusty has taught him very well.
Yeah.
Him and going on
well.
to his brother Dustin.
Yeah.
Look at all the gimmicks that Cody has made work. Can you think of a gimmick in WWE that Cody, in any point in the near decade he's been with the company, that hasn't worked? You could argue. Some people could argue Stardust. Some people can argue Stardust, but even that he made work to some degree.
I don't think there's anyone in the company.
Wanted to see him versus Dustin for a very long time.
Yeah, people wanted to see that for WrestleMania.
That was one of the first things that AEW actually did.
Yeah, that was their first big match that they've ever promoted.
And you know what is interesting? Even if you don't like the Stardust gimmick, there's no one else that could have done a better job
than that.
Exactly. If anyone could have made it work besides Goldust, it's Cody.
Yeah.
And
his selling points are he's just a
I'm
great
telling you,
seller.
I'm telling you right now, I'm like, for people that don't watch AEW, I'm like, yo, do not sleep on a sleeping giant. I am telling you right now, AEW could.
You welcome
potentially.
Ricardo. You welcome Ricardo.
Whatever.
She made you see the error.
No. I'm not confirming. No, because I
would always argue with him at the gym, and he was like, WWE.
No, because I've been watching it.
You're the one that put this man on to AEW.
No, because the thing is, I'm not gonna front because like I was.
I gotta give you that one.
We couldn't.
Because I was going hard for WWE because I've been watching that since day one.
You're always gonna have a bias on that.
Tara convinced me.
There's a world outside of WWE.
I watched it and I was like, oh, this is money.
There's a world outside of WWE.
Yes.
I think Richard remembers this very, very, very. And I think you too, Abba, to some degree, because we met you shortly after this.
Yeah. Fresh memory.
We've been trying to convince Ricardo. Remember to watch NXT.
No, actually, you know what? Let me say it to the gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
I was honestly trying to convince him to see the world outside, and I think did I show you? We were at the gym, and I think I was just like, okay, fine, just watch this one match, and I think I showed him a Will Ospreay match or something.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty dope.
Let me say something right now. It took me a long ass time to get this buffoon to watch NXT. Yeah. The first takeover I've ever showed him was Takeover R Evolution. That was the first takeover I've ever shown him. Yeah. I showed him a highlight video.
Yes.
And then, hold on.
Yes.
And then he said, like, oh, who is this?
Yeah.
I said, like, yo, that's Charlotte Flair, daughter of Ric Flair. Who is this? That's Sasha Banks. Who is this? This is Finn Balor looking like, what's his name? With the Demon.
With the Demon. That was the first appearance with him.
Yes. And then he said, who the hell is this fat motherfucker? That's Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I'm like,
one of the best NXT debuts I've ever seen.
That was the best takeover of the early days.
It was
period.
Our Evolution.
It was
legendary.
At the time.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It took me a year. It really did.
Bitch.
Honestly, like I was like arguing with him was like WWE is the best. WWE is the best.
No.
And I was like, whoa.
First of all, to my credit,
Kenny Omega.
Hold up. To my credit, I never said NXT was trash.
Yes, you did.
No. I nenever said that. No.
But who called the Elite trash?
Hold on, I never said that.
Yes.
Did I say that?
Yes, you were
I never said that. That's a lie.
You're like the Elite.
I never said that.
Who cares about that?
Who knows?
No. You did say that.
When did I say that?
You said that. You said that. I remember you saying that. You said, "Who the Elite is trash? The Elite is trash." I'm like, "You're a dumbass." I'm like, "Yo."
Oh wait.
And I was like,
you did say that.
I was there. I was literally going.
Oh wait. All of them. I said this. I said, "The Elite isn't undisputed." That's what I said.
Well. To his point, they're not.
They're not.
Undisputed era.
I clearly said that.
But the one thing you have to do still, because all of us has done it, but except you.
What haven't done?
You need to go to a takeover to actually feel the moment.
Yeah, I think that's
you need to go to a takeover.
That's one thing we all probably should plan in the very near future.
Oh yes, we should.
Listen,
is going to a takeover.
You do know. Listen,
I've been fortunate to be
The
part
you
of
went to two.
of them.
I've been to all five.
Yeah, this
to
narrative
all
has been to all five.
Okay,
but the two I've been to were easily the best.
I'll tell you what.
I've ever been
If
to.
I find out that Takeover 30 is coming back to Brooklyn,
Yo.
we're going.
Yeah,
And you're going too.
yeah. You can't turn that down. There's no way.
Right, Abba?
But
There's no way.
anyway, going.
I swear, y'all
back,
niggas ain't hearing my case. Like, all I'm saying is that, like,
the Elite is amazing.
Okay, fine. The Elite's amazing. They ain't
Thank you.
undisputed. But all I'm saying is that I'm like, okay, AEW is coming. My thing to NXT and WWE is what you guys are gonna do about it, because AEW is blossoming into our very eyes right now. The hype is getting more and more higher. The AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley, their top heel right now in AEW and MJF, Cody Rhodes,
But that's
and the tag team wrestlers. I'm like,
The
yo,
best tag team division
the best
around.
tag team in wrestling by far. I am telling you, AEW is coming, and
But-
WWE is sleeping
But
on them.
that's the thing. AEW is about to be bigger because New Japan
Exactly.
isn't even ready to let go of Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega was literally the best.
Do they still have rights to him?
No, they don't.
No, they
they don't. He signed off, but because they lost him and he was one of their big money makers, because obviously he's known as the best wrestler in the world. They are now open to working with AEW, so we can in the future even look forward to New Japan and AEW clashes and matches, which is going to be even bigger.
Which leads to my question. We discussed this, the three of us did, on the prediction show. Do you see this year New Japan and AEW working together, having some sort of a working relationship?
Yes, I do actually see that.
I see it too.
I do, because they want Kenny Omega back, like wrestling, doing some
I'm
of
sure the
their
Young
matches.
Bucks too.
Yeah, and even with the Young Bucks, even with Cody, like that was one of their best matches.
Jericho had a match
At
Wrestle Kingdom.
At Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
So did Moxley.
Yeah. So they already have a
connection,
unconfirmed
I feel
relationship.
like
That's
they're
right.
kind
Yeah.
of putting away bitter, like I would say, like bitter feelings aside,
Yeah.
and going like looking more to business.
They
Like
have
this
to.
could be because at first they wanted to shun AEW because they were like, "How dare you like leave our company and make your own wrestling promotion?" And now it's like kind of like, all right, this would be like a great interaction.
I'm like, the more we talking about this, the more invested I'm getting into AEW.
And that's
The more we talk about this, because I was like, I think in 5 years, AEW will be better than WWE.
And then think about it.
In 5 years.
And then think about, because that's
Or
another,
possibly shorter.
That's another issue that I will also say is with WWE, it's only in the WWE universe, but I feel like AEW is more open to working
It's
with
universal.
It's universal. And that's what I'm saying. I also see ROH shows coming.
Ring of Honor?
Yeah. Because
No,
That's interesting.
And you know why? Because Marty Skrull is head booker.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And now,
and plus, most of his friends is at AEW.
That's what I'm
Most
saying.
of them.
He is literally a part. He was once a part of the Elite. So it's
he's
like
guilty by association.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're still going to have, not only are you going to have Ring of Honor wrestlers wrestling with AEW, but you also have
so
New
imagine
Japan,
that's
like,
three
all
promotions.
Against WWE.
Oh, WWE can't beat
Wow.
Against
Yeah.
Can't beat
WWE.
that.
So just think about that. There is so much more matches.
So imagine if AEW gets in on the whole New Japan Supercard of Honor show.
That's what I'm saying.
The
That would
collaboration?
be-
Okay.
Make it three-way.
So, the only way I see, your scenario, Ricardo, happening, if, AEW can be bigger than WWE, is
Possibly.
is if they get Okada. If they get Okada to,
And-
be in the mix
a
somehow
legit
with
game
them.
changer.
And I'm going to
because
say
Triple
that
H is obsessed, apparently.
Triple
But
H
hello,
is
reports.
Okada's the
Triple H is
Rainmaker.
obsessed.
Triple H is adamant.
Yeah.
To get Okada to NXT.
Right.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's his number one goal.
Right.
He wants to get Okada to come to NXT because Okada's contract is almost done in Japan. And once he's done, Triple H is going to go straight to Okada. I'm like, yo, I don't care whatever it takes. I'll pay you so much money to come to NXT. If Okada comes to NXT officially,
That's a doubt.
But I don't see it happening.
That's a huge downgrade.
I don't see it happening.
Period.
I don't see it happening.
Okada is like
Okada going to NXT.
Y'all see that as a downgrade?
He goes.
Okada is New Japan's literal.
No, but I'm saying like,
That's
why do you guys see that as a
John
He
downgrade?
has been the ace of New Japan.
Japan for years.
Throughout
That's
2010.
their
Think about this.
Okay.
AEW offering John
Cena a contract.
Exactly.
That's
Okay, you
When
know
when he was at his peak.
When he was at his peak, yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Like-
I understand.
No.
like
Nah.
Okada is and that's the
feel
thing.
you.
Okada's
feel
not
you.
going anywhere.
Oh,
He makes
shit.
so much bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New
All right, so
Japan.
what would you guys rather him do? Go to NXT, AEW, or stay?
Partner with AEW.
Partner with
Partner
AEW.
with AEW.
He can literally
Collaboration
stay
there.
with
You
New
work with
Japan,
them.
get that money, and still work with
It's not-
New Japan.
it's not even like he
I
has to
mean,
leave
AEW,
to
like,
go to
Yeah,
AEW.
like he's literally
What if-
friends with all of them.
Listen. Right now, Okada can be what Chris Jericho. Okada can be what Cody Rhodes is to AEW.
And I
to
think
New Japan to
I think
AEW.
Okada was like,
Because
Okada was
he
even
can
a
have
part
that
of like
much pull.
their all-in shows. Okada was one of the main wrestlers at their all-in show, so it's like Okada works closely with them. And
Also,
I don't.
I'm
see
sure
I
there's
just
a
forgot
bond
about this name.
period.
I literally
with
just forgot
Omega.
about this name. What if AEW signs Kota Ibushi?
That I see happening. That's more likely.
Yeah,
to me.
that's more likely to happen.
Wait. You guys said Okada. To me, that's the big move.
Ibushi.
Yes.
Probably because you don't know how big Okada is.
But
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
Because I'm saying
Okada.
Ibushi is,
Okada-
listen, Ibushi's lethal.
Obushi is one of the
Lethal,
top 10 best in the world. right now.
Okada,
no, I believe
that's
I
rare
believe
air.
I believe
Okay.
him.
Okada,
That's rarefied
that's what
air.
I'm saying. Like, I don't care
You don't
how
breathe
much.
the same air
Yeah.
as Okada.
And I'm not gonna lie, to sign him only to NXT, you are sleeping on Okada. Okada is not gonna go to NXT. He's just not.
and
That's
I'm telling you-
they
And
need
Raw
to
SmackDown
offer-
will
they
shit
literally
No.
need to offer
And
main
here's
roster
why.
money.
And here's why. But Kenny said like to possibly beat WWE, you gotta sign Okada. And obviously, I said Kota Ibushi. Right, those are two big headliners. Right, AEW will take stars from WWE. There's a shitload of stars that I think that will strive in AEW.
They haven't taken.
For example,
I think the revival will be good.
their contracts are up in April.
Hold up. I think the revival will be money. I think Cedric Alexander will be money
What the hell's been going on with
in
Alexander?
AEW. I think he will be money in AEW. I think who else? I think Shinsuke Nakamura will be
I know
money
you were
in
saying
I
AEW.
want Shinsuke to leave.
And
so bad.
Shinsuke Nakamura, listen.
The original rock and roll.
If Shinsuke Nakamura went to AEW, I think he'll be fired.
I need to see the passion back in him.
Imagine
No,
been-
because
you know
why?
it's been like
Because
with-
of
it's
because
been
of
like
WWE.
with Jon
It's
Moxley
because of
and
WWE.
Yeah,
They
if you
drained
see him-
the passion out of him. If you bring him to
I will give you the
AEW,
benefit of the doubt.
Him in New Japan, he was literally like a pimp just rolling
and that's
out
the
with
thing.
his-
And that's the
his
thing.
females just
Because
like,
of
he was that
AEW
guy.
is with New Japan, Shinsuke knows niggas from New Japan. That's what I'm saying.
It'll
Bring
be great.
Shinsuke Nakamura in. Yo, AEW is changing
Listen,
the
not-
game.
But you know what would
Listen,
be even
Nakamura-
better? Will Ospreay versus freaking Cedric. That would be a great
Of course,
match.
no question. But to add on, Nakamura, the thing is with him, he's not going to want to go back to the New Japan style. His body has taken so much wear and tear throughout his time there,
Right.
proving himself when he was
good point.
hungry, when he was passionate, when he was driven,
Yeah,
nothing but drive.
yeah, and-
alongside people like Tanahashi and Okada, they were the top three in the
That is
company.
true.
Alongside Kota Ibushi.
And plus,
he does not want to go back to that style of wrestling, especially after his vacation. I'm calling it that with the WWE side.
Well, no, that
even
is,
in NXT.
but that is one thing that he did say. He is the reason why he is
He's
signing
very
with
comfortable.
WWE is because he's comfortable. All he wants to do is just live in America and just chill.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Exactly. He loves surfing.
He
Just do that
wants to
shit.
chill.
Switching on over to WWE, NXT had a fantastic episode this week. Just like with Dynamite, they also moved along some storylines very nicely, I might add, for TakeOver Portland next Sunday. They had Charlotte Flair visit NXT, had that segment with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, where Bianca was just fuming, to the point where she felt as though she was just overlooked. She was a background player. Once I'm done, where Rhea just quite adly just stated, once I'm done with Bianca, she's an afterthought. It's just going to be you and me, Charlotte, for WrestleMania.
For Charlotte, that segment that they had, Charlotte, Bianca, and Rhea Ripley, was money. It was money. I loved it.
They all had good chemistry.
Because, of course, very good chemistry. And
Me and Kenny was talking on the side about this, and I agree with him. If it's a triple threat match, I got no issue with that. No issue at all.
And that would be actually a really, really good match.
And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
For the first time, I won't even pick Charlotte. I might pick Bianca.
Yeah.
Because you know what?
I might pick Bianca.
We agree.
No. But understand why you're not picking Charlotte.
We're not picking Charlotte. Exactly.
No, I agree. Charlotte is undisputably the GOAT, and she is the queen.
Okay.
I bet for Charlotte. Charlotte, oh my God. But anyway, Bianca is being slept on, and I felt like she should have had that title a very long time ago. And I feel like if they do not give her this title opportunity, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what to say.
Unless the only way they can get away with not going through with Bianca being the NXT Women's Champion, when this feud is over, move her up to Raw and SmackDown. If they have a big plan set for her to win the SmackDown Women's Championship,
right? That's the only way.
And you push her as the big
Bianca lost.
as the big heel in the
You know what I loved about?
But my thing is, I don't know if they're gonna I don't know if she's gonna have a Lacey Evans thing, because you know.
She won't. No, she won't.
No. I'm not saying as far as match wise, but you know, Lacey Evans. Come on, let's be honest. She got that because she's blonde. What was she blonde? Is she
blonde?
Yeah, she's blonde.
Yeah.
You know, chested. But so let's be real. I mean, let's be real with that push, because Lacey Evans is not that great of a wrestler.
Right. But if she was as talented as Bianca Belair, I don't think
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Right. So I think that's where the discrepancy was.
Yeah. So like that's my thing is, but I still do want her to have that NXT championship to be like, yeah, I'm that bitch.
And you know you can get
that bitch.
And you know you can get away with, unlike Lacey Evans, having Bianca Belair go for it straight out the gate, because she's got a ton of momentum heading into Mania, whether she wins or not.
Yeah, because listen,
Lacey didn't have that.
Her performance in the Royal Rumble
was
fantastic.
fantastic.
I think separated her from the field, right?
Yes.
So if you immediately after the Royal Rumble, if you told fans, right, who do you think is the best person to challenge Bianca Belair? I'm sorry, to challenge Bayley at WrestleMania for the title, Bianca Belair or the field?
At WrestleMania.
Okay. I believe that most fans would have probably said Bianca Belair. They would probably pick Bianca Belair over the field, because in the field, what do you have? Yeah, you have Sasha Banks.
Yeah, Naomi's
and others,
back,
right?
I guess.
But we've seen those types of matches before.
Yeah.
Right?
You want something that you haven't
Exactly.
seen.
So that's the only way I'll accept a Bianca Belair loss. But here's why.
And I'm interested in the dynamic there.
I think it kind of kills her a little bit, because it's kind of just like, you know, even Shayna, her going on to
I disagree with that.
Shayna's even had the title, but
No.
thing is,
Wait, are you talking about that if Bianca does to SmackDown, or are you talking about the NXT?
I feel like she should still I feel like she should still hold the championship for a little bit.
Who?
Bianca
never won.
No, like that's what I'm saying. If she
Coming out
was,
of the
like,
field.
I think
Coming out of the field.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think she should have actually get that opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Champion
Then I
in
agree
NXT.
with you. Yes.
Like
I
think she should still have that before she goes into main roster, because I feel like it gives her that weight that she deserves.
So in terms of
hypothetically,
if she wins at Portland, against Rhea Ripley, I'm asking you, how long do you think that if Bianca won will hold for the title for?
Look, wait. No. That doesn't matter.
No.
That doesn't matter. That does not matter, because it's not about on how long the person can hold it. That means nothing to me.
At least for the babyface.
Exactly, at least for the baby faces. The main thing is, to be honest with you, I want it to be a triple threat. Because let's be real, if you have Charlotte and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, you already know who's getting the W and who's getting the L.
Yeah, that I know.
Now, if you do a triple threat,
You don't know.
Yeah,
right.
And also, it saves the win for Bianca to win. Because if she wins, not at TakeOver, but at WrestleMania, it will tell all the losses that she had in NXT will eradicate. Because you won it at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
right.
You can argue that.
You won it at WrestleMania.
But I feel
my bad.
Yeah,
and
okay.
she'll be the first in a long time
Since Sasha.
since Sasha Banks as a black woman to win the championship. That's a big deal.
It is a big
But
deal.
that's the thing. I don't think they're gonna do that, only because there isn't any like storyline as far as her and Bayley. Like I feel like there needs to be some kind of thing. But that's what I'm saying. I would rather her hold that weight as NXT champion and then maybe, I don't know, challenge Bayley and be like...
No, I was referring to NXT.
Okay.
I was referring to NXT.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was triple threat the whole time.
So this segment, right? This segment made me happy, and here's why. Tara, you alluded last week to being, I guess, skeptical about how, this feud would probably make Bianca Belair irrelevant. And she brought up a great point.
Yeah.
And you know what? I had to think about it. When I left here and I went back home, I really thought about that. And she brought up a very good point. But what NXT did, right, was acknowledge Bianca Belair, right, as the rightful number one contender to Rhea Ripley, right? And then, in doing so, also acknowledge the GOAT, Charlotte Flair, as the potential, right,
next
opponent,
contender,
right, of these two. Yeah. Either woman wins at Portland, challenges.
She's like,
Charlotte Flair,
whoever wins,
right?
I got next.
Exactly.
I got next.
So in my case, right, I believe that, to my point, pretty much, I said last week that I don't think, that'll necessarily make Bianca Belair irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think she'll play up to the competition.
Right.
And that's what I said last week. If you go back and listen to it, and I think in by and large, I mean, I don't like to toot my own horn here, but I think I'm right. Based on what we saw.
No, I agree with you.
Right? Based on what we saw at NXT, it made Bianca Belair more bigger than ever.
Yeah.
Because now she's being, not only is she associated with Rhea
Even
Ripley,
potentially the number one star.
Right. She's being associated with Charlotte Flair now. Right? And now those two actually have legitimate beef with each other.
Yeah.
So this is a compelling story, and that's what I meant last week when I said, yo, listen, if you give if you give Charlotte Flair Triple H, you have a very, very, very huge marriage, working for NXT brand.
In addition to his point, this will be the best. I think if this is a triple threat, it will be better than Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte.
At 32.
Yeah.
At 32. It will be by far better.
You seen these big these ladies are like 6 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and
the thing is this.
Shoot.
The thing
Adam Cole will look like a baby.
Yeah.
In the ring with them.
Kenny got all riled up at the
No. He's right.
That's concerning, but
It's like, think about it like this, right? I'm using an NBA reference. Let me take LeBron James, for example. Number one in the game, right? Charlotte's number one in the game in the women's division, right? At the 32, right, Rich?
32.
Charlotte fought Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, right? How long ago was that? In terms of years?
2016.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, right?
That's been 4 years.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, right? LeBron James, at a time, fought the Celtics with KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. He fights the Boston Celtics again, but with a younger squad. Same dude, different circumstances. Charlotte's case,
same thing, but
same person,
different circumstances.
Different circumstances, but it's NXT's case. Because obviously Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks,
Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch.
It's Becky Lynch.
Right.
You see what I'm going with this?
Yeah.
You see what I'm going with this?
Yeah.
But the difference is, Charlotte is more of an established star, just like how LeBron is more of an established star now.
And she elevates them.
And she elevates them in person.
And that is what I was talking about last week. Does Bianca Belair play up to the competition, or does she, shrink under the pressure? Right? This is what I religiously
my girl
preach.
Is meant for big
right?
things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this
is meant for big things.
And this is what I religiously preach. Every time I speak about NXT, I'm always glowing because the competition there is so fucking big that anyone, I don't care how big of a star you are, anyone comes in there, right? They'll answer the call.
Yep.
Those guys in the back will answer the call. And they'll be like, listen, I know you're a big star and all, but this is NXT you're talking about.
Exactly.
That's what Rhea and Bianca brought.
And that's what Bianca brought. Like, she brought it to Charlotte. She's like, no. What the fuck? Like, You're in my house.
But
this was your house, but you're in my house.
Just
now.
add to that, Kenny. Remember that line Charlotte gave to Bianca? Why don't you go stand over there and braid your hair?
Braid your hair. Right.
That was for sure. That's the thing.
Great.
That's what I liked also.
Yeah.
Because like it showed her. How can I say this? Her dominance.
Right.
Yeah.
In that segment, because
she's speaking as a champion.
She's speaking as a
and she said, remember what she said about Bianca? She said,
"This is a conversation between champions."
Exactly, this is a conversation between champions. Acknowledging the fact that Bianca Belair has never won it.
That automatically labels her as the underdog.
Exactly. So now and get this. And this is and I don't know if you guys think about this stuff when you watch. Bianca Belair was the shortest.
Yeah.
Out of all.
I have.
Yeah.
Right? And she was in the middle. Mm-hmm. Right? So you watching that, right? Think about the story that they're trying to tell you as a viewer. You see that? Immediately you're like, oh, they don't think she can do it.
Exactly.
The height just adds to it.
I literally just want her to get this title because she was so close all of last year.
Yeah.
So many times.
And guess what?
And then
Asuka.
but
she never faced Asuka.
She never faced Asuka.
She never faced Asuka.
So she never got that.
Shayna. Because she had China matches back in Takeover.
She would have lost.
But my thing is like she had like that chance to be champion, and then Shayna came in, and obviously that
makes my point.
And that's why I'm like, she needs to get the
and that makes my
championship.
point based on my comparison to when I compared it to WrestleMania 32. Mm-hmm. Sasha Banks was the underdog at the time. Everybody
wanted her to win.
I wanted Sasha Banks to win that one at WrestleMania, right? But as I look back, I'm like, nah, Charlotte was the right person to win it. Even though I wanted Sasha to win, I wanted Sasha Banks to win so bad because WWE portrayed her as the underdog, and they portrayed Becky as the number one rival to Charlotte.
And remember, at 32, Sasha was over as fuck. Royal Rumble 2016, after when Charlotte won the match against Becky, the minute that Sasha came out, the crowd went crazy. And then the minute that Sasha attacked Charlotte after when the match was done, he said, "Yeah, finally, WrestleMania." Then go ahead. Then the match came along. We said, "Come on, Sasha, you got this." But then if it wasn't for Ric Flair holding Sasha down, the match would have continued. Right. But Charlotte still won.
That was such a heel.
That was such a heel shit. Because remember, like, yo.
but that's the thing. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Because no. But that's one of the few things we all like about WrestleMania. WrestleMania hypes you up. No, and not but it also hypes the person that you feel that they deserve it and they could take it away like that. That's the beauty of it because WrestleMania is it. If Bianca Belair has a similar road to like Sasha Banks
at 32,
it will ruin the fans' interest. Which I'm not gonna front. I like that.
What do you mean by ruin?
Because it ruined for Sasha Banks. Because coming into that, if you look back at 32. I'm talking about like the entrances, the persona, the hype. You thought Sasha Banks was gonna win this one.
Yeah.
You dead ass thought she was.
Everyone at that match.
No. Exactly. But that's what I said. WrestleMania makes you think the person is gonna win until the match happens, and then guess what? Backfire.
Oh, I know what you mean.
You see what I'm saying with this? You see what I'm saying with this? It could potentially happen to Bianca Belair, but it could be a good thing. It could be a blessing in disguise. It's because you're not, besides the match itself, you're trying to hype Bianca Belair up as one of your top stars in the game. We already know Sasha. We already know Charlotte is the top dog, and Rhea Ripley is the top dog in NXT. Bianca Belair is the number one female in WWE. I'm like in WWE.
If you did a power ranking,
you'd have Bianca Belair is in that list, and she needs the most help out of everybody. She needs her coming out part. She's the Kofi Kingston right now.
No.
You don't think so? In terms of height?
No. Hold on. I think she's better than Kofi.
No. I'm talking about hype.
Okay. In terms of hype, I wouldn't go that far.
I would not. Last year, the hype for Kofi Kingston was astounding.
I think it's like the hype for Becky.
It was like for
Right.
Becky. You think Becky? Okay. I'll give you Becky.
Everyone wanted Becky to win for so long, for years actually, but she never got that chance because obviously that was their selling point because she was always overshadowed by Charlotte.
Yep.
But then they actually gave her, when they saw how much of a favorite she was with fans, that's when they were like, okay, like let's see how this goes. And they didn't expect her to do that great on the mic and be that great as she was. So when that match came, you didn't care how it ended as long as
I got a question.
So basically, for Bianca's standpoint, they gotta book Bianca like they did with Becky last year. But no, it is gonna be better because guess who's running shit? Triple H, not Vince. Triple H. You gotta remember that.
And that's what I said. You give Triple
H,
the
Charlotte, Flair. Like the only, seriously, if it becomes a triple threat at Mania, Triple H, not Vince. Triple H has to book this thing from now until Mania.
Honestly,
he can do it.
Honestly, that segment was probably the best female segment
in a very long time
from NXT
in a while.
In a while,
all year.
All year,
not even all year, but
in a while.
In a while,
Would you say if it's done correctly, what you said?
Yes.
Can a main event Mania? No, done correctly.
Done correctly, yes.
Done correctly, yes.
I believe so.
Done correctly, because
if you promote it at the main roster level too.
Yeah.
Because
remember, hold on.
To be main event.
No, that's
because you know why? Because you know why? Because here's why.
You're going up against Drew.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, I feel you. But you know what? If there's any female match that I put right now as a main event, it'd be that match.
Because you know why? Because y'all know the past episode, I made my rant about females main eventing
Mania.
Big shows. Big shows. I'll admit I was low key off topic. I mean, not off topic. Out of bounds. But I would say that in NXT's case, it could win.
Because
it could win.
The reason why? Because they know how to book stars. Yeah. Remember, TakeOver Respect.
TakeOver, yes.
Bayley and Sasha was the main event, the first time ever that a women's match main evented a network special, and that was a big deal.
Honestly, that match should have been a main event at Brooklyn. At Brooklyn,
yeah.
It should have been because it was the best match of the night.
It was.
But let me tell you why I don't think it'll be a main event WrestleMania.
Wow. No, I'm gonna tear on
that. I was just gonna say,
I just wanted your opinion.
No, my opinion is basically for WrestleMania.
Yeah, for WrestleMania.
They're never gonna drown out the main titles.
Yes.
Yeah,
they're never gonna do that.
Done correctly, let me just add to that. Done correctly, it can work.
Yeah.
For
I'm not
a main
denying
title,
that.
If it was literally one of the, whether it was a SmackDown or Raw Women's Champion title, then I would see it as a main event, but I don't see it as with just NXT. Vince would never do that.
Vince would never do that because...
I can talk finally? Okay. Sorry. Done correctly, it can definitely work. It can even... Maybe you guys may disagree, but maybe it can even eclipse last year's.
Yeah.
It will.
Not well. Name value.
It will.
In name value,
it will.
Let's be honest.
In name value, it won't.
Let's be honest.
It will.
Will you?
Okay, maybe not in name value
because you have Ronda
Rousey in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Well, I think it would be a better match because
there are more skilled fighters in this match.
And honestly, going back to it, it's what I was saying. WrestleMania, everyone was WrestleMania weekend, that was the most tiring weekend I've ever did. I felt like I worked 24 hours.
Girl, I was there.
I was literally trying.
I was there.
I was trying to pry open my eyes to
this
watch.
WrestleMania, I'm not gonna front. I'm it's intriguing. This year's WrestleMania.
Yeah. But
this year's WrestleMania. I will admit, I'm you know what?
Match,
I'm this is the first time in a long time I'm actually hyped for a WrestleMania.
That match, I felt like it was kind of it was the end of the night and everyone was just oh my god, just be done with it.
Exactly. But this could be the first WrestleMania in a long time. It might not be exhausting.
No, I'm
because
the
anticipation.
I'm saying as far as match wise, if they were to have Rhea, Charlotte, and Bianca, that would be a better match.
Why you disagree?
You're saying it as if as if the hype wasn't there for Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. We were hyped.
Oh, it was.
No, the hype.
No. There. No, I'm not.
We were hyped.
Especially that match for it.
I'm talking about the match. I was talking about the match. I was talking about the hype.
The go home segment. No, but you said it yourself. We will be anticipating the match.
I know
main eventing the show, right?
No, I actually First of all, I never said no.
He's saying about the whole card.
Yeah,
Right?
I never said it will. I asked y'all if y'all think it could.
I say no.
You said no. You said no. You said maybe, and you was like,
I was no, right?
Yeah.
all right. So there you go.
Because right now, because right now,
And that doesn't
the
make,
one
that
match.
doesn't mean it's
Exactly.
gonna, that doesn't mean it's gonna make it like oh my god, it's not gonna be a great match. It's gonna
No, but
it's
that's what I'm
probably,
saying.
it's probably gonna beat
And plus,
a main title
the
match,
main
but-
match that I see, honestly, main events of WrestleMania is Lesnar and McIntyre. That's the only match I see
Yeah.
main
The
event in
only
the
right
show.
main event.
The only right main event. Arguably, the NXT Women's Championship Triple Threat match could possibly be the best match on the entire show, if done correctly. Because remember, back in 32, the women's match was the best match of the card.
yeah.
But then again, a match of the night could end up going to a match that we didn't even see coming.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a
That-
match
it always does.
that they
It
haven't even
always
booked
does.
until like a week before the show.
It always does. That's what I'm
Legitimately.
saying. Like with this WrestleMania card, there's so many different avenues that you can do with Orton and Edge, Lesnar and
Orton and Edge is
McIntyre.
definitely going to be like a mid-card match, only because I know
A main mid-card match.
Yeah, a main mid-card match, but it's not going to be one of like the last matches.
Oh no!
Out of all
I would put it in the middle of the show.
No,
In the middle of the show.
It's the middle of the show.
Yeah, I don't see either Orton or Edge going like, yeah, I want like a
Prime
one
spot.
of, yeah, a prime spot.
Third
I
or
don't-
fourth from
they
the
would
top.
never bury
But the
any
thing
other-
is, you can put a mid card. I agree
Yeah,
with that.
I would see
but,
mid-card.
but right now, besides the females, it's the most anticipated match of WrestleMania.
Yeah, no,
Wait, which
definitely,
one?
but
Randy Orton and Edge.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But
it's the most anticipated match of WrestleMania.
yeah,
no question.
I would definitely.
Because Orton is carrying that rivalry.
Well, Orton and Edge, they're
No,
both, like,
right now, Orton's carrying the rivalry.
But when Edge
Because
comes,
Edge is selling
Yeah,
the
I would say Edge would come
Edge is
back
selling
to
the
the
injury.
No,
Edge
no,
come
no.
back, of
Let's
course.
not short sell Edge.
I'm not short-shorting Edge. I'm just saying right now,
they're both.
it's Randy Orton.
But I'm saying,
Yeah, Edge
like,
is doing his
they're-
own thing.
Yeah, they're both kind of like, you know what I mean? Like they both can wrestle, they both can sell, they both have good mic skills.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that is, I will say that. But I mean, question is, where are you gonna put the main card title for women?
I was just about to say that. I was gonna ask you guys list
true.
like.
I'm putting that in there.
No, but the thing is, out of all the main matches,
tricky, though.
that's
Where would you
like
put it?
with all the main matches happening at Mania.
Okay, what matches they got so far?
No,
They got
okay.
4
Wait, hold on.
women's titles.
We have to know this. We have to know
There's
this.
four women's championship matches. It's gonna happen at WrestleMania.
Okay, tag team Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
Yes.
Okay, the tag team pre-show. That's
Okay.
easy.
No. But I was gonna say this. I was gonna have a question for all of you. Out of all the main matches from the NXT Triple Threat, women's, Lesnar and McIntyre, we know Lesnar and McIntyre to me will be last.
You don't think they're
It
gonna
has
keep
to be.
NXT Triple Threat at NXT?
Wait, what?
No, they could put it at NXT. They could put it at NXT too.
With the takeover.
Why would they not?
At a takeover?
Why would
Why
they
not?
not?
I will have my problem with that.
Listen,
That's
but-
a takeover match.
The reason why that can't work is
It's
because you got Charlotte
The
Flair.
winner,
You have
of the Royal
Charlotte
Rumble.
Flair.
You got the Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes,
right. You mentioned
That's
which
true.
I feel like.
You're
Out of all the main
That is
matches,
true.
do you think that, let's say the women's triple threat match will open the show? Would you be mad? Because last year the
wouldn't be
mad.
Universal Championship
Honestly,
opened the
I
show.
really wouldn't be mad.
You would want to.
You got 2 Rumble winners every year now.
No, I would not want to see a Bailey match after.
No, I didn't say Bailey. I didn't say Bailey.
No,
Like-
that's
like-
what
like-
I'm saying. You're gonna have to still see a Bailey match.
And
listen,
can you imagine?
Defend the
Like,
title.
That's like bathroom break match.
Yeah, like can you imagine Bianca Belair kicking off WrestleMania, winning the belt?
I
It's
wouldn't
like
want
with-
that, but I wouldn't
it's
want
like with
that
Rollins and
as a
Becky
beginning.
last year.
Yeah.
The thing is,
They
the
started
thing
the
is,
show and
yeah,
everything.
You need a banger for
You need a banger.
The thing
show.
is, because the thing
Yeah.
is, because honestly, WrestleMania last year, it wasn't that bad as I thought it would be.
It
Last
was
year,
a
like, it
good
wasn't
It was
that bad.
honestly,
It
it wasn't that. To be
bad.
honest with you, that
It was-
WrestleMania was solid.
It was a good match. Like it was.
No,
they had
that
good
that
matches,
WrestleMania was solid.
Probably the best Mania
Yeah.
since like
Right,
31.
so in terms of opening the show, I agree with you.
See?
I agree with you. No, I agree with him.
No,
because
no,
like
no.
you see, the thing is, in terms of starting a show,
You gotta start strong.
you gotta start strong, not lackluster or mediocre. You gotta start big. Like
But
I
last
think
year,
the
like,
best one,
I think Finn started the
I-
match, and that was like people didn't. Finn
No.
versus Seth was that
the
was
best.
that-
Honestly, last year's WrestleMania was the best start of WrestleMania I've ever seen in a long time.
But
In a
that's
long
what I'm
time.
saying.
I'll even go back to that. Since 30 because
Brian Triple H
opened the show, and then
we're talking openers.
Yeah,
they opened the show main card with Cena and Wyatt. Last card was a championship match.
I agree,
but that is such a fire match that I don't know if I want it to, like I think
I can start with that
at the back end.
I don't know if I want that as like the beginning and then it's like all these other shit matches after.
But
like,
I kind of stem to agree with you. I'm leaning towards your position.
Because I think I would want it like maybe like what's her name?
Bianca?
No, what
Becky
the
Lynch?
Bailey?
Yes, there we go. Oh my gosh, so relevant. I forgot.
Why do you think Bailey's not even in the WrestleMania card?
I would do WWE a favor. Don't put Bailey in WrestleMania. Period.
But she has to lose that.
Don't be surprised.
Exactly.
Don't be surprised.
Listen,
Disney have nothing to do with her. Don't be surprised if the SmackDown Women's Championship match is on the pre-show.
No.
They have so many titles as it is. They gotta put some. They gotta put one or two in the
So
pre-show.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I would never want to see that match. Like after. I don't know. It's kind of just like this match is way better than a Bailey match.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's a main event level match. They have to put it second to last or maybe third to last.
I think
somewhere.
They got us. The key is to spread out all the big matches.
But then again,
so we
if
can
they
have
if they have Becky versus Shayna,
Not if, when.
If at WrestleMania, when would you want that one?
That's a tough one. I would say put that match before or in an Edge. That's just me.
Well,
we might as well touch on that now. Speaking of Shayna Baszler, according to Wrestling News Source and Ringside News, it appears as though Shayna Baszler is currently booked to appear on Monday Night Raw this upcoming Monday to confront Becky Lynch and to get something going for WrestleMania.
I'm so shook right now. That is gonna be. That's like I'm just like, ooh, it's gonna be finally interesting again.
Yep. I can't wait, man.
The man is going against an actual man. I mean, she's not.
Whoa, okay.
Well, I mean, like Shayna brings that up. Like she brings that.
I completely agree.
She's like literally the Brock of freaking female wrestling right now.
And also, I want to add something to this. The minute that Shayna comes into the picture, I'm saying Monday, after when the women's championship is done, we might see a shift because since Shayna's gonna be on Raw, the fans might turn on Becky.
They will.
The fans will turn on Becky because Becky's gonna say, "Oh, I beat your best friend last year. I'm gonna beat you this year," and shit like that. But I'm like, Becky, your competition has been lackluster since day one. It has.
Okay.
Like Ronda, Sasha.
Take out Ronda.
I agree.
Sasha's been out. Ronda's been out. She faced Lacey Evans after WrestleMania for like how long?
Like who she fight? Lacey Evans,
Natalia.
Like, come on.
You know what? It's okay. So Becky has faced everyone, and then you know what she brings? You know, Proud Family. The Girl Sisters.
The Bro Sisters.
You know that big girl with the braids, like with the
Olay?
Yeah, like that's
no
what this is like.
about.
She is like that. Freaking Shayna is that big girl that you are literally gonna be like, what'd you say? Bam!
But technically, Olay was a big girl. Let's be real. But back to Shayna Baszler.
I mean, like as far as like size wise, like she was her
Shayna
MMA
Baszler
background
brings the no bullshit
attitude
and presence that the women's division
it's
needs.
Like the Brock.
That they need in the main roster now.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many people hates Brock Lesnar? But watch Brock Lesnar. Presence and what?
Attitude.
Intensity.
Thank you. That's what they need. You need that one. Every brand, NXT, AEW, Raw, SmackDown.
The list goes on.
No matter the promotion, you need that dog.
You need that star.
With that no bullshit attitude.
But you know why I'm saying that bully reference? It's because I feel like Becky Lynch.
What is with your infatuation with Bailey?
Becky Lynch's matches, like she's been facing all these people that it's like, she can knock them out like anything, or it's gonna be like a whatever.
Like they'll try their best to bring them up.
And then she's even buried them. So it's like Shayna is bringing that. What? Like it's like she's gonna be like it's like someone tries to bully her. She just has to shove, and then it's like oh my god.
I'll add something to that about Shayna Baszler. Remember the rivalry she had? It was not that big of a rivalry last year, TakeOver Chicago, when she faced Nikki Cross for the NXT Women's Championship, that fantastic one line that she said, and Ricardo knows what I'm talking about. She will run the women's division on Raw because you know what she said? Because fear means respect.
Exactly.
Fear means respect. When she was in NXT, she fucked up Dakota Kai. She fucked up Dakota Kai.
She fucked up the entire women's division.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
With that intensity.
Look.
You picture her as a big bully back in the school days.
But it worked.
That's why I think it is the most interesting match. Because if you really think about it, Becky's been going around bullying all these people like, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. But now it's like you're actually facing someone that is like the real freaking bully of the women's division. Like,
I think
I like that.
Exactly. To your point. Exactly. Look, it's interesting, right? It's interesting because, like, just like you said, Tara, the book, like, Becky has been acting like the bully, right? Mm-hmm. Ever since she's been on this winning streak, you know, she's practically like unbeatable at this point, right?
Yeah.
Which is to WWE's credit,
right?
They booked her pretty well,
and now you know you meet your maker,
yeah.
Like Shayna Baszler is the embodiment of what a bully is. Like,
she's a Brock Lesnar. Like she's a Brock Lesnar.
And now you're gonna have to stare into the eyes of a fucking monster.
Exactly.
Right? And get your ass kicked.
And you know what else?
You
know what else?
Man.
You know what else?
She really is that big kid that
you know
just
what?
scares
And guess what?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Becky's like a 4th grader and
No.
Shayna's like that middle schooler. That's
the thing is,
pretty much.
it's crazy. Shayna Baszler gotta carry the rivalry.
No, she will carry the rivalry.
No. Look,
she did leading up to Survivor Series.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna get to. She carried the rivalry in Survivor Series.
Definitely.
She listed every single opponent she's ever faced
and beat.
I think about that. Bailey was a part of that, so it's like
exactly.
get her out of the picture.
And Bailey is a part of it.
For WrestleMania
right?
too.
Yeah. You bring that presence to the main roster. Something that the main roster needs severely, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing when Brock Lesnar came back at 2012. Yeah. The exact same. When Brock Lesnar came back, right, talked shit about John Cena, saying like, oh, if I was still here, you would not hear John Cena. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I agree with him. You would not hear John Cena.
Emphatically false, but
no, I'm talking about he wouldn't be. He's saying that John Cena won't be as big as he is now if Brock Lesnar stayed. Right? That's a legitimate argument.
Last I checked, there was 2 brands.
Oh
yeah.
You know what? I'll give you that one. There was 2 brands.
Good point.
I'll give you that. But at the same time, he has a small case. Having said all that,
I can see both your points.
Yeah, but exactly. He has a small case. We both have good points. It's me and Kenny. Come on, let's be real.
yeah. You guys are never. I'm just kidding.
No, it's me and Kenny. We bring the realists in the show. What do you want? Bad or shady? We do.
Oh damn! Whoa!
Whoa!
Anyway,
it still hasn't forgotten.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there was still something in there.
Shayna Baszler will bring the realism that the women's division needs, and she will call out any women's wrestler.
When Ronda chooses to make her return, her and Ronda could literally be the Gross Sisters of freaking the main roster.
I wouldn't say that.
Asking these women to pay up.
He's saying the grocers. I feel like
that's an insult.
That's like that is an insult.
Let me. They're like the bullies. They literally. I think honestly, even you can even reprise the whole Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch friendship again with that freaking friend with the rivalry.
Oh please God, no.
You could say no, but I think it would be a great match.
Between who?
Okay.
If Becky and Charlotte
it'll make for
Ronda and Shayna.
It'll make for a feel good moment, but even I have to, admit that the GOAT will lose this one.
She will lose that one.
But
all is well.
Here is what I think we forgot to mention, right? And if Bailey, I'm sorry, not Bailey.
See what you did? You see what you did?
See what you did?
First no name over there, and now Bailey.
I couldn't stop saying Becky, and then I was like thinking of Bailey.
You couldn't stop saying Dean Ambrose.
If Shayna Baszler wins, right?
All this negative energy.
If she wins over Becky Lynch, we would have a dominant champion on our hands.
Exactly. Since Ronda.
And she will rule with an iron fist. And
even more so than Ronda.
And see, this is what I like. This is what I like.
But I think that's what
Ronda was never dominant.
She
wasn't,
guys.
But that's what made it great. Oh, I'm gonna go finish.
So I think that the reason why dominant heels work, right, is because they're heels.
Yes.
And when you have a great heel, I don't care what who you are. If you're a great heel and you're dominant, people will never probably ever get tired of you.
Exactly.
Like if you're a truly great heel and you're there every time and you show up, people will never like. Why do you think it worked for Asuka, right? When she was dominant for what, well over 2 years. Why do you think it worked for Shayna when she was dominant for over 2 years? Did you get tired of that?
Nope.
Well,
so to be quite honest with you, it didn't work for Becky, right? Because
they tried it.
She's not really a heel.
Babyface.
Right.
No,
she's not really a heel.
She could
have been.
The thing is, she was so over that they booked her. Then they started booking her as like the good.
You can
person.
argue.
But
No,
to be
you
honest,
can argue.
You can argue that she was leaning
Because
towards a heel
honestly,
at some point.
when her and Charlotte, they first had that rivalry where she freaking attacked Charlotte, that was so great. Everyone was just like, yeah.
The thing is, we
this
didn't
so
want
good.
we didn't want it.
Exactly.
We wanted Becky to succeed. We wanted her to win the title and not necessarily turn heel, like have a character
But the
shift.
thing is, I don't know if I don't agree or disagree with Kenny. I think the thing is that like if Becky did become a heel, she will be better now.
Right.
And
that's my main point.
She will be better now.
Like, we wouldn't be tired of it.
We wouldn't be tired
But
of it.
that's the thing. It's
Because she'd be a
bad
great heel.
She'll be a great
I
heel.
think
It would have
was
just.
bad-
I would have just settled for a
It
tweener
was.
role.
I think it was
That's
just bad booking.
that's how it
That's
works.
what it is. That's what it is now.
No, but
She's
that's
not.
the thing is-
She's not a dominant heel. Like she's a tweener.
And hell, you know what's even crazier?
I think that's what made it bad. It was bad booking on WWE's part.
Yes,
because
exactly.
She was so over. Instead of pushing her as the heel, they made her as the.
And you know what?
WWE doesn't know how to book their baby faces.
No. But the thing is, you know what's
That's
crazier?
it.
You know what's even? You know how
That was people were turning
If
on
she
Ronda.
was a heel,
Yeah, that was the thing. People turned on Ronda.
if Becky,
was a good guy.
I'm telling you right now, if Becky was truly a heel, I bet you would have been 50-50 between Charlotte, between either picking Becky or Rhea Ripley. It would have been 50-50.
No.
If Becky was a true heel.
No, but that's
Because you would have Charlotte. No.
Yeah, why do you think people were clamoring that Rhea Ripley at the tail end of War Games and Survivor Series weekend just a few months ago? That Rhea Ripley is exactly what Becky Lynch should be right now.
No.
The she had a legit edgy.
No. What I'm saying is,
I know what you mean though.
I completely understand what you're saying. But what we're saying is, like the way that WWE did Becky wrong by making her a tweener instead of a true heel. By becoming a heel, changing your whole dynamic as a character and a wrestler.
Yes.
Right?
I'm not denying that.
Right?
I'm not denying that.
The best example, I remember Richard, Ruthless Wrestling era, work with me, right? Brock Lesnar, remember when Zach Gallen first came in?
Yeah.
Right? And Brock Lesnar, right? Remember that, right? When Zach Gallen first came in, Brock Lesnar was a face. Oh yeah. No, wait. Brock Lesnar was a face, right? He was helping Zach Gallen.
That, yeah.
Guess what? Week after, heel. Destroyed Zach Gallen in front of his moms.
I'll give you the match you always wanted.
And in front of his moms. That's what I'm talking about.
Make
That's what I'm talking about. And Becky did that. Turn from babyface to heel. Change your whole dynamic as a character. Change your whole dynamic as a wrestler. It would change everybody's eyes.
No, but that's
and the matches and rivalries would be better.
But that's the thing with
And
this.
you know what? It was better because
Exactly.
she broke her nose and
Yes.
things like that.
And that was
her dynamic. Like her
dynamic changed.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't see Becky as the happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
You know, doing this and then
Bro,
having all
as
the
soon as you
freaking
like you
air come out of the
like
vent
you
or
see
some
like
shit.
bro
That
she
was Becky.
As a female, she was the first anti-hero.
No, but that's why
I-
it would be so good when Shayna comes, because now it's like Becky's just tiring and it's like, I'm the man. Obviously, no one's going to lose to the man.
Right.
Except
Because
the actual...
people are getting tired of her shit.
Yeah.
And that's why, well, like I said, the point I said before, when Shayna comes into the picture, there's gonna be a shift. People's gonna boo Becky, despite Shayna being the heel. People's gonna cheer for Shayna,
As they should.
like I said,
As they should.
right? And then once everything is done, then Shayna most definitely will revert back into her heel tactics.
No,
like
I think
no.
I honestly think you make a very very good point.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the pursuit comes in. What we talked about last week.
Right.
And that's the thing.
The chase.
It goes back to the chase. And plus, not only
But she'll be a heel.
She'll be a heel.
That's the one thing I will say is even with Ronda, whenever they tried to give her a heel kind of way, I could not get down with her freaking intro. Like she just did not have that.
She didn't have
heading into her debut match. It was just not working.
Because right now
Shayna gives that toughness. That like it's like when you see her, you're just like.
Oh.
And not only that, currently right now, right? As we see Becky on television, right now, currently, she's being a little cocky. Like OD. She's being a little cocky. Last week she had the gold on her jacket. This week she came out with sunglasses.
She came out with those sunglasses. Oh my god.
She's showing tiny heel tendencies. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Of a cocky
in terms
person.
Well, honestly, about Ronda Rousey, about her coming into WWE, that's what WWE and Ronda Rousey messed up. When she came in to the WWE first time at Royal Rumble, was it in Philly?
You were there.
No, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. Just say yes. Right? In Philly, she should have came. She was supposed to be the Brock Lesnar in the women's division. But she played a whole head honcho. She was still learning the game. Right? But now you got Shayna Baszler, who's a better representative and a better exactly because she went through the learning process and all that.
Ronda thought she was hot and just came in straight off to the roster without.
Well, to be honest with you, in her credit, she was because she was a big star.
She did get better on the mic, but it's like it didn't work as well for her because keep in mind she never had that mic skills. She had Becky and Charlotte kind of had to carry the mic for her. Because,
they did.
Yeah, because remember when she was like.
No, you can make a legit argument that Charlotte was the one that carried it.
No, Charlotte did.
No, that's not Charlotte did.
But Becky did also because I remember one of her things she was like, and then she kept going in a circle and people are like, what are you saying?
This is why.
This is
why. Back to Kenny's point. Backtrack about how Charlotte in NXT is money. Because Charlotte could work with anybody. She's flexible. She can make any person look good.
An instant star,
pretty much. And an instant
look at what
star.
happened with Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair is right there.
I'm just glad. Think about it. Charlotte is the first, really big time superstar that really made it big on the main roster.
Exactly.
To actually come back into the NXT.
Exactly.
So seeing her, it's like, oh shit, this is rare air. And you being in the ring with her, it's like, oh shit, this is the presence of the most decorated female superstar in the history of the company.
Exactly.
I'll give you that. And not for nothing, just to go back on that, Charlotte didn't overshadow them.
Right.
That was a good thing.
You felt like they were equal.
Exactly.
And that's what you kind of skeptical about. Is she too much of a big star?
Yeah.
Isn't she? But how do you feel about that now?
Well, now I like how it's being booked.
Okay.
I wasn't doubting Charlotte's abilities and what it would be.
Yeah,
right.
You were skeptical. You rightfully so.
The only thing I was skeptical about is Vince McMahon.
I see.
Yeah,
but
rightfully so.
That makes sense.
He was to touch it, that was my only thing because I was just like, I don't know if he's gonna let go of Charlotte without and be like, I want no parts. Triple H take over because he's always iffy when it comes to.
And if you really look at it, Vince and Triple H is giving Charlotte a break.
She is. I'm sorry, they are. Sorry.
They're giving her a break because she hasn't wrestled all week since the Royal Rumble, right?
And she shouldn't.
And she shouldn't because she deserves it.
She shouldn't.
She carried.
As a matter of fact, I don't think Drew should wrestle until after this feud.
Exactly.
Ricochet is done.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think any Royal Rumble winners should wrestle after the filler feud is
for a risk of injury.
Risk of injury.
Right.
That's
so close to the show.
That's like Charlotte's vacation, in quotation marks. Yeah. Right? And she richly deserves it. Nobody deserves it more than Charlotte. Nobody. No man or woman. Charlotte deserves it. Right? All Charlotte got to do is hype it up. Hype it up. That's her main job.
Yeah. Sell the fight.
Sell the fight.
Yeah. Also on the show, we had, just to get back on track here, we also had Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano in an attempt to build more intrigue into their match at next Sunday's TakeOver event. Had a split-screen interview. Didn't last longer than a few minutes, but I thought they did a fantastic job.
Yeah. Gargano and Balor are nothing short of being great when it comes to not only in the ring but also on the mic.
That's my match of the night for next week.
Yeah, a lot of people
Can't go wrong with that.
of people don't give Balor credit for being a heel because we've only seen him as Balor in the main roster.
Yeah, Smiley Finn.
Yeah, Smiley Finn. And you know, to bring it back to his NXT days and also his heel days when he was in New Japan Independent Wrestling, it is so great to see him as one of the greatest heels. I said one, so don't jump on me. In wrestling.
You know,
to be back to this.
My favorite part is when he said,
Gargano?
Gargano's. My favorite, when Gargano said, listen, if you give me, you know, the Finn Balor that lost to Bobby Lashley like 15 weeks in a row, I'm going to eat you alive.
Money.
Like, that, to me, was the realest thing anyone has ever said
To Finn Balor.
in wrestling.
Oh, in wrestling? Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's comparable to what Chris Jericho said, you know, in AEW.
Yeah.
When that We the People.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a great promo.
You know, and I thought, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is TV gold.
It's a case of, you know, not just WWE, obviously, AEW, like you mentioned with the We the People thing, that they are the wrestling industry is relying so much on blurring the lines between kayfabe and reality.
Yeah.
Like what's going on behind the scenes. It's like such a go-to for them.
Yeah.
They think it's, easily, we'll get cheap heat, we'll get people talking. Like we're doing right now for the
I
show.
want you guys' opinion on this, what I'm about to say. Which rivalry currently right now is better? Cody Rhodes and MJF or Finn Balor and Gargano?
I'd say Cody Rhodes and MJF.
I would say
Cody
Cody
Rhodes
Rhodes.
and MJF.
The story there is just too great.
Untouchable.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The best heel going on right now.
And you know what I like about this story?
Heel, the feud.
There's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of people that's like literally involved into this.
Exactly.
It's so
Okay.
intricate. That's
They got layers. If Balor and Gargano, it's literally just those two.
Right, and you know what I love about the MJF storyline with Cody? It's that this guy has scars. You'll see it on his back during the match. You see the scar right here.
Oh, yes. The one that he got a few months ago from
That's
Jericho.
scar-
Actually tells the story.
Right, like these things you have to read in between the lines when you're watching this shit, man.
Exactly.
You know, like he's gonna get destroyed by Wardlow or whatever the hell his name is next week.
No, you got it.
Like he's gonna steal. Like you thought that was worse? Like what's worse than being in a steel cage with a big ass nigga that's twice your size?
That we may or may not
Like-
be good in that ring. We still, I don't know.
Right, I don't know, but listen, I don't want to be stuck in the cage with that guy.
No way.
If I'm Cody,
He had the most vicious lash out of him and MJF.
the last two lashes just hurt my soul, man. But yeah, to your question, it's Cody
Okay.
and
But
because the
Balor-
story there is
Yeah,
just
because
much
the
more
But
deeper.
that being said, don't sleep on Balor
Don't sleep on
Gargano.
Balor. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
It
not-
is-
don't
I
sleep
think
on-
that can be the better match. I think
Yeah.
Balor and
Exactly.
Gargano.
Because
So y'all agree? Better story goes to Cody Rhodes and MJF.
Yes.
But
The better match
will be
potential.
will be
Finn Balor and Gargano.
And we find out in the same month, too.
Okay.
We find out
But
the next few weeks.
The thing is, though, I feel like AEW is still going to bring that rawness that
Yeah.
WWE
Yes.
Yeah.
can never.
No, they
provide.
can mask it with
Yes.
with amazing storytelling in the match. They did
Yeah.
it with Cody and most of
Jericho?
Cody's matches.
Cody and Jericho?
Cody and Jericho, Cody and
His
Sean
brother.
Spears,
I
Cody
feel like
and
there's going to be
Dustin.
this brutalness that is going to literally
Like-
overpower NXT.
Like just to go back to that, those matches Cody had with those people, great matches in their own right.
Yeah.
That being said, what really enhanced it? The storytelling
Yeah.
that was told in the
in
match.
the ring.
Yes.
Yeah,
In the
Not
ring,
even just
yo.
leading up to it. What was told in the match?
His match with Chris Jericho was probably very underrated, right?
Exactly.
It wasn't
Exactly.
it wasn't an NXT championship match that you're accustomed to seeing. Like it wasn't hard hitting,
Exactly.
it wasn't crazy. The
They
way
took
they
their
told
time
it
with it.
methodically, like it was methodical. It was great. Every second mattered.
And you know what? Why it was so underrated? Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
that's all
But
good.
the reason why it was so underrated, what happened following that match? You had Moxley and Omega in a lights out match.
Right? Yeah.
Everyone talks about he's still mad at me for
No,
my thoughts on that match. But listen, chaotic beyond so.
Yeah.
But but in a way it kind of like disrespected the work that Cody and Jericho did.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think
because
so.
the match
No.
was built to be that way.
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay, like you can't knock, people for putting on a chaotic match.
I just think it's a shame.
Right.
It's a shame.
In a hardcore match, if it's in a hardcore match, It's gonna be awkward.
I just mean it's a shame that that's
so
that's
I don't
that's
think
the
it's
case.
fair to put that onus on those two for making it chaotic because it's an awkward match. You know,
Like, you guys maybe just misinterpreted, but
no, we did because you said that it was kind of disrespectful.
This maybe not the right word. I'll give you that, but I mean, like, it's a shame that that's the case.
But to be quite honest with you, man, I mean, I think it did what it was supposed to do. Okay,
it brought that wow factor that we've been lacking.
That was ECW.
And you won't see that for a while,
and you haven't seen that.
Yeah. I feel like WWE brings back nostalgia with wrestlers, but AEW brings back nostalgia with matches.
With the match, exactly.
That's what it's like. It's even more like, oh my god.
And that's why AEW is a big opponent to WWE.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They can offer something that WWE just fails to hit the mark on.
We want back.
That'll do it for this week. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for checking out this episode of the Wrestling Hypothesis podcast. Yeah, I'm sure this whole few hours of the show has been waking everybody up, as I'm aware. Forget fuck coffee. This is our energy for the day.
Yep. Shout out to Cafe Bustelo, keeping me alive since whenever.
All right, well, until next time, guys, have a good one.
Take care.
Later. Take care.
Peace out.
Later, guys.
See ya.